All right, chat, what's going on? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Yo, Cosmic Atlantis, how's everybody doing? Getting all set up here. I do have the AC going, as it is quite hot, but we will have some tunes we're gonna be listening to. Get the camera set up here. It was cooking today, for sure. What's going on, chat? I hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you guys tuning in early. What's going on, Cosmic? Just great, and you? Everything's going good. The new battle report, by the way, is doing great. It's at like 2,200 views or something in the first like 2 days or something. So shout out everyone that watched the new battle report. So hopefully the sponsors of the channel are happy. Hopefully they're getting some business too. In fact, speaking of which, I got the tracking, my tabletop strategist order, which we picked up the new automated platoon box for the new Mark 1, Mark 2s, and the Director. We picked up 8 of the old metal, I think they're metal at least, I'm almost certain, the power armor British wearing troops. And we also grabbed 62 Carthaginians from Victrix miniatures, because we're going to eventually try and do some like Hail Caesar type game at some point. But it was such a good deal. I was like going to get it from Amazon for 50 something bucks, and I found it on Tabletop Strategist for 38 or something. So I was like, well, you know, while we're here, might as well grab it. So that'll be fun. I also want to use that for the game that we're making. Use some Carthaginians. What we're doing today is we're painting up terrain. I made these yesterday before my fly tying stream, and essentially I just took cardboard from the speaker stands that I have in my room, from the box, and a bunch of this cardboard came in something. Oh, it came with the display cabinet for my miniatures, the big metal and glass door display cabinet. So it was like the perfect size styrofoam, and I normally don't use styrofoam, but for like broken concrete, it kind of works pretty good. So I just ripped them into shapes, cut them pretty haphazardly, and glued them together for ruins. Because something that we don't have is like base terrain. We always use 3D printed terrain and buildings that we put on the mat. But this is kind of nice because we can actually like flock it, or put some static grass and some shrubs and bushes. The other thing I want to use these for, I was like, well, we have Soviet houses, so like Russian wooden houses. We have French brick buildings for like Normandy. We have a full entire board worth. I have to print the other half of those ruined city buildings that we use for like the 3.K Apocalypse game. So we have a pretty good, decent collection, but we didn't have any like totally destroyed ruins and like shells of buildings. So we just have the giant city ones. So that's what I decided to make. Also, I plan on doing Zona Alpha. I picked up Contraband on Tiki the Hut's recommendation. I think he told me after the stream, he like messaged me about Contraband or something, so I grabbed that for like 10 bucks, and that's the solo adaptation of the game Zona Alpha. So that's perfect. I plan on doing like a little solo series. We'll see how the videos do. I don't expect them to be crazy views, but I love Stalker, and I love the exclusion zone and all that stuff. So I did make these with Zona Alpha in mind, to be like ruined like Soviet structures, like bunkers and things, but I think they're just gonna work perfectly for Konflikt. So are we talking about the Tiki point? Exactly. Is that another Tiki lore that I didn't get the reference for right away? Oh, the Tiki effect. All right, so I think we're gonna start off by so what I did is Mod Podge and black paint, because it's styrofoam. Mod Podge, and then I went and just took sand from outside, sprinkled the sand everywhere. Then I took spray paint and sprayed it, and the Mod Podge stops the styrofoam from melting. I don't necessarily mind if it does melt a little bit though, because it kind of looks cool. Especially if we do something with Stalker, because it's like all sorts of crazy emissions and radiation anomaly. Maybe it's eating the concrete away. Or rift weapons, right? I hope it'll skyrocket like One Page Rules did. The US versus Orcs battle report. You know what? I think no matter what... Are you talking about the most current video? What's going on, Klovek? The current video is doing great. I can't complain. But the way I'm going to do Zona Alpha is it's going to be like very like narrative sort of like... You know how the style I do with like... A lot of times in the games people want to still see rolls, so I'll include a lot of rolls. But in this I'm gonna, you know, more so it's gonna be like moving the miniatures and using stalker like sound effects and stuff from the video game and doing like a 15-20 minute long battle report or something, because it's gonna be solo. That's the idea. We'll see. I picked up 1490 Doom too. I'd like to try 1490 Doom. Maybe I can get Rev to try it. I'm gonna watch when I get home and work on my Soviets. Oh hell yeah. The point is when you make a list, that is exactly... one single point over. Yeah, the tiki point. I think I actually might have did that in the last battle report with the Japanese, because I thought we were doing 2,000, and Rev thought we were doing 1,500. So I was like, I had to adjust my list while he was setting it up, or setting up his army, and I was like, screw it. I'm going like, I think I had to go 1 point over, because I couldn't adjust it. So I think I actually did a tiki point in the last battle report. I'm going to start off with a pretty dark gray here, and then we'll... And I'm kind of less dry brushing as kind of like smearing right now. And we'll go with something lighter on top. I want to build up some color to it. I do have all the Stalker games, including fan-made Stalker, so I could extract a few sound effects. Yeah, I got them too, so... It won't be hard. I've been meaning to do like a real playthrough of Anomaly at some point, because I haven't actually done it. Also, what's going on, Nix? How's it going, dude? Yeah, the classic tiki point. Hell yeah. I just kind of want these to be like ruined concrete-esque structures. Cover them in grime and stuff too, and probably like some sort of plant life growing in them or on them. I love terrain paint. I just finished all my stars. Started the community voted, made pink Darth Vader. I saw that and it looked great. No, 1 point is nothing, I know. It's just funny. That's the tiki point though. It's just enough to make a nomenclature about Tiki the Hut, but not enough to make a fuss about. The tiki point. I think that was just what, because he submitted a list to Morty in 1 point, and there was like 1 point over, so you guys like lambasted him for it or something? Is that what happened? I'm gonna go with a lighter gray on top. I'm just kind of putting some darker gray coloration in here. Get a little shading type action going on. Nothing wrong with a good tiki point. But yeah, so nothing wrong with some good ruins. You could always use ruins. That being said, I went to 3D print a plate of Stalker miniatures for Zona Alpha, and the 3D printer died again, which it did before. I fixed it, I thought, but it's doing it again. So I said, you know what, screw it. I was looking on Amazon anyway, and they had on sale the new, or the newer, I should say, because I'm using like an Elegoo Mars 2 or something, I want to say, Pro or something, or Elegoo Mars 3 maybe. And so Elegoo had on sale the Mars 5 Ultra, which has much larger building plate. It's got auto leveling sensors, so it'll level itself, so I don't have to level it you know, every manually with the Allen keys and stuff, and a piece of paper, and it's got a flexible build plate, so it just pops the minis off. I don't have to scrape it. It's like going from like a freaking 1987 like Dodge Caravan with a broken sliding door to going like a brand new freaking Tesla or something. The auto level's magic. I'm telling you, I would be 3D printing so much more if I didn't have to like do so much bullshit every time I printed. I have it set up in a tent downstairs, a grow tent, so like I vent it out, but I wear like 2 pairs of gloves in case you rip them, especially when you're taking prints off and handling that stuff. So like just being able to like pop the prints off and then straight into the Elegoo like bath washer, you know, vat I have or whatever. Now, do you guys auto level? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been using my printer forever. I level it, then I print twice, because I don't feel like doing it every time, and it works great. Do you guys do you have to level it every single time with this one? I guess it's easy enough. You might as well. Does anyone else do that? Does anyone else cheat like I do? I'll level it once, and as long as I don't like have the plate move when I'm scraping the miniatures off with my Elegoo 3, I'll just print again. I haven't had any issues. Any issues I've had have been from bad miniatures or like weird power outages, or like it's like the device is shutting down halfway through the print is the issue I'm having. You do auto leveling, but a few weeks I had to level the build plate manually. Saturn doesn't need leveling. Yeah, the Saturn though is like the tippy top one. The big bucks. I'm excited. We'll see. I'm gonna see how it's gonna fit in my little grow tent thing. Might need to like make a stand for it. People recommend Mars 4 Ultra. It's easier for newbies. Yeah, but I've been 3D printing for a long time. I've 3D printed, I'm not even joking, probably about, between me and Rev and our friends, probably about 20,000 points of Warhammer. And that was before I even started making content. And since then, I've 3D printed so much stuff. So, I'm no, what do you call it, slouch, so I think I'll be alright. I think the features are going to be life-changing. I can't wait. Yeah, well, you know, worst case you return it, right? But I don't know, I can't complain. The Elegoo, I think it's the 3 or whatever I have. It's been working fantastic for so long. Any issues that I've had has been my fault. Like damaging the FEP or like, you know, not properly checking that the miniature creator like would actually support it properly. But the new software is nice because it'll tell you about floating islands and all this stuff. The old software back in the day didn't. The free version didn't, so. Yeah, it's the Ultra. It's the 5 Ultra. So, we'll see. We'll try it out. I was thinking, I'm not even joking, I was talking about it on my stream last night during the Flytime stream. I was like, dude, I should reach out to them and see if they'll sponsor me and just give me a printer. But where my printer setup is my basement, is like a freaking goblin's cave, my little corner. So I would not be able to film it in any like good lighting, or you know, I wouldn't be able to portray the printer in a good way. It would just look like a 3D printer in a tent or something. I was like, I'm just gonna buy it, whatever. It's a tax write-off anyway. I use it for the YouTube channel. Using Blueprint Studio auto supports forever. There isn't anti-aliasing on the Mars. Anti-aliasing? What are we playing? Freaking Call of Duty or something? You guys are over here using anti-aliasing technology. What do you got? Motion blur in there too? God damn. I don't know. It's gonna have a hell of a lot more bells and whistles what I got. I wasn't getting the Saturn though. Saturn's like freaking, or the yeah, the Saturn was like $600-700 or something. Screw that. Screw that. I mean, it's probably gonna last me 3-4 years like the last one did, so I'll get my money's worth out of it, no problem. I got my money's worth out of the last one. I think it was like 220 bucks or something. This one I got on sale for like 280. Ultra has it? Okay. I'll have to learn what it does in 3D printing. Blurs the layer lines? Gotcha. I mean, it's honestly not too bad. And this is going to have an even higher resolution, I feel like, but... What's going on, Scar? Should have paid for the Ultra. I think it'll be alright. I haven't used any sort of layer line technology. I'm sure a lot of that... I mean, that's new technology to me. A lot of that I thought was based off of, like, your... What is it? The lift and all that, and the exposure timing you can adjust. I use Soraya Tech Fast. I calibrated it when I bought it, and I've 3D printed, like, thousands of miniatures on it, and that's all I do. Any issues I've had were from me. Like, one time the build plate, I loosened it up to do the leveling process, but I guess what happened is I didn't clean it properly with rubbing alcohol, and resin was inside where the, the swivel is for the build plate, and it dried up and hardened. So when I lowered it, it like cracked the screen, a teeny little crack. But that was like, okay, yeah, maybe make sure I clean it very good before putting it away, because just tiny resin was in there and managed to like harden where the build plate swivel was for the adjustment. The other thing was the FEP. I had the FEP get ripped from a really shitty Trench Crusade official 3D print for the Azebs. Everyone's complaining about it in my mini factory. I don't even think they fixed it yet either. There was like a floating something. That's why one of my Azebs is missing a leg. That was the print that like destroyed the FEP. So then I got into like changing FEPs. Because other than that, I used the same FEP forever. Doesn't have a bad... You know what? That's the thing. All the resins are fucking terrible, though. I don't care if it says water washing. I ain't washing that shit down the drain, alright? I'll tell you that much. I see people doing that shit. It's ridiculous. That stuff is going to go into your water table and your water system and all that jazz. I use the Soraya Tech because it's been the best results I have. It's a little bit pricier. It works good. And I literally wear like a hazmat suit while I'm doing it. Not literally, but I like double glove. I wear a respirator. I have a fan that extracts the air. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Do not be breathing in fucking UV resin fumes. I don't care if it says water washing. Fuck that. I treat it like it's a goddamn nuclear waste site. I had it leak onto the screen and killed it. Had to replace the screen. Ah, that sucks. You lick my resin clean. There you go. Water washable resin is A, not safe for drains, and B, prints like shit. Yeah, that's why I never used it, but... I leave mine in the sun for a day or two to gel it up. I haven't gotten into mixing resins. I know you can mix like softer resins with harder resins to create like more durable prints and stuff. I've never tried that personally, but I was using Elegoo for a while, or one of them, or some fucking generic resin. But I watched, I think it was Squidmar Minis, and he's like, oh, we used the Soraya Tech or something. It's good. It probably was a freaking ad for all I know. But honestly, the Soraya Tech resin's really good. Like, again, any issues that ever happen, it's because of a shitty STL file, or like it wasn't supported by the creator properly, or it's like something I did. It's like I'm very like basic bitch with my 3D printing. But it works good. Lost my V card in a building like that? Hell yeah, dude. I've done some things and broken down structures like this with future ex-girlfriends back in high school. Remember we slept by like It was like a broken concrete structure with like the roof was about to fall off. I don't even know what it was. It was like a boathouse or something. And it was right next to the bay, and we slept out there. It was freezing cold. It was so cold at night, and the bay like got right up to where we were almost sleeping, and like water was like hitting our feet. I'm like, what the fuck? Where the hell did you take me? Yeah, the good old days. And then in the morning we walk out and it's like someone's backyard. We didn't realize. We were like had to like walk past somebody. We're like, what the fuck are you doing on my property? Oh, sorry, we got lost. I remember it's the same exact girl, me and her. We were drinking in the woods, okay? And it got dark. And I've literally like spent my entire life in this town, and I genuinely would never have thought this, but I ended up getting lost. It was like the densest woods with thorns. We just went the wrong way. I definitely just drank too much. But even I thought I could at least get out, even in that scenario. I'm like, I can get out. But we ended up walking like 2 miles through the woods along the entire town and ended up in someone's backyard. They had to get a ladder and like let us out like over the fence. And when we came out, dude, I was just we were just covered in scratches from thorns, me and her. It was they were like, what the hell's going on, dude? Oh man, that was good. That was a good time though. I remember years later I was dating her. I'm like, remember we fucking we ended up in that person's backyard. We walked through the woods for like 3 hours through like the densest woods. But you know, you just gotta tough it out. We still had beer in us too, you know, so we were good. I got raffled to a bridesmaid party while in uniform. Oh wow, that sounds like an honor. Yeah, Chad's talking about mixing resins. Well, Tiki the Hut just brought it up, you know? Like, we like to live wild on Long Island. You know what I'm talking about? In 2007, I was 2 years old. Goddamn. Get out of here, Klovek. This is for old people, okay? It's the old man's club. The hell out of here. No young people allowed with good knees. Only bad backs. Poor attitudes. Was that a laugh track? I don't know. Let's get a live reaction from the audience. Tough crowd. I don't use it a lot, but I have my Stream Elements Stream Deck. My magic button board. I can also do this. Magic Bomb! Because I did some live TTRPG stuff. That's something I would like to do on the channel at some point. I want to do like a Shadow Dark campaign. Do any of you guys do TTRPGs? We got any TTRPGers other than D&D? The D&D slaves? Meta sheep? I'm joking. Rev loves D&D. He convinced me to play it too and got me into TTRPGs. But after a while, I was like, you know, there's other games. We should try this. Nah, dude, just what we could do is we'll just make D&D in space. And I'm like, but they have space role-playing games. No, but you just, what we do is we Mad Max, but D&D. I'm like, God damn it. So I forced him and all of his, like, hardcore D&D friends to do a Savage Worlds campaign, and they loved it. So Savage Worlds is, like, my jam. But I do want to, like, play Shadow Dark or something, and maybe make a series on the channel. Because I use the Mythic emulator, and so I can solo play, and literally I love it. I personally love it. We should do a live stream, honestly. Savage Worlds is your favorite? You did a Crimson Skies campaign? Oh my god, dude, I love Savage Worlds. You play Pathfinder, Starfinder? Okay. Pathfinder's sweet. I haven't played it, but I have the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds stuff. Pathfinder, Land of Urn? I think I've heard of that. Oh, Stars Without Numbers. I know the Without Numbers series. Yeah. I've gone through the whole rabbit hole of... I actually have... So I have, what? Dragonbane, I think it's called? Yeah, Dragonbane. Is that the name of it? It's like an old Swedish D20 Roll Under game that they re-released. I have that one, which is pretty sick. If you guys know Me, Myself, and Die, which is Trevor Noah, who's like the voice of Rocky Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, he has a channel on YouTube where he does solo tabletop role-playing. So that's what got me into like 5 Parsecs from Home, Savage Worlds, all these different games. I think it's Dragonbane. Played over 100 game systems in my life, got them rattling around in my head. I pretty much play any tabletop game. Okay. Well, you know what? Because I've done Savage Worlds, but it didn't do that good. I mean, it got some views. It got like 300-400 views, and this is when my channel was really small. But like, those are also like, you know, so those videos take a while too. So I'm curious. Maybe in the future I'll do something. It could be a lot too, like Savage Worlds. There could be some crunch, you know what I mean? But I've been meaning to try out some of the simpler D20 systems that are pretty popular, like Shadow Dark, but... Dungeon Incorporated also sounds interesting. There's so many good ones. There's Knave, there's, oh my god, now I'm trying to think of all the... There's so many cool systems that are, like, really, really good. Savage Worlds was, like, my thing. I have all the, like, supplements for Savage Worlds. I know people love Deadlands. Deadlands is, like, the #1 favorite thing, because even people, like, mention it. I've had people mention all sorts of interactions with Deadlands. So maybe I'll do like a solo Deadlands Savage Worlds thing one day. But I do think Savage Worlds is not like a super popular system. It's a little bit more niche. So I still want to make sure like people watch my freaking videos. You know what I mean? I'm not even joking. I recorded 20 episodes of a solo Savage Worlds series. I got about halfway through it. And I think I released 1 or 2 videos on the channel. And I was like, dude, this is so much work, and like nobody's even watching it. I'm like, I gotta put my time. I only have so much time and energy I can make videos for the channel, so I gotta like make sure it's stuff that people at least enjoy, you know? With Contraband books, Zone Alpha would be a good TTRPG. You know what? True, because it's more like a miniatures game, but it kind of turns into a TTRPG. I guess you could just add story elements via Mythic Emulator, because Mythic Emulator itself actually is like a game. You could just play Mythic Emulator. So I could like use Mythic Emulator as like the story narration or story generation, and use Zone Alpha as like it'll be more like a tabletop game, which is what people are used to, but I can also add story elements to it. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be like, okay, I got to do like checks for everything or this, that. It's like a Stalker, Metro, Mordheim. Yeah. On this channel, they're unlisted at the moment. You might be able to see the Savage Worlds playlist or something if you go to the playlist section. So you can actually watch them if you want to watch like the first 1 or 2 episodes. I also filmed a one-shot for Halloween with Skinwalkers for Savage Worlds. But again, it's a lot, you know what I mean? So, I haven't found how I want to do those types of videos either. Like, style-wise, and how to make it, what to film, what not to film, to not overload myself with editing and all that, so. What we'll do is, I say we'll probably at some point do a live stream where, I've done it with my Flytime chat, but what we'll do is, we'll do an interactive game where you guys will play with me, we'll like play together with a game system using Mythic Emulator or something. Or I'll play and you guys can help, I'll ask you guys. And then, what do you call it? You know, get back in the groove of things. Because I'm definitely doing a solo Zona Alpha series, but again, it is more like a tabletop game. I still have the itch for like the traditional TTRPG stuff, you know? It'll probably be in the future because we have so much stuff we have to do, but I would like to do that at some point. Roll to Sauce Tiki. I'll help. Let me know. I'll be down to play. Hell yeah. Well, we'll just do it on stream. And I've done it with chat before. In the past. I got to get back in the groove of it, but. Or I can like DM and you guys can take turns taking at, or like, well, this is, you guys know Viva La Dirt League and their D&D channel with Robert Hartley. He's a really great DM. He does a live stream with his Twitch chat where Twitch chat plays D&D or plays games and he DMs and he like picks people from chat. So that's something we could also do in the future. What would be interesting, now hear me out. What if we did something where we picked a game system? And this is why I really love Savage Worlds, because it's so like universal. But like, what if we picked some sort of game system and did a Konflikt 47 TTRPG series, following like a Firefly, a Paragon, and somebody like a scientist, like Roberta Wells style, going into like deep undercover somewhere. That I feel like people would actually enjoy on the channel. But I need to find the right game system. It's almost like you want Delta Green or something. You know what? I feel like Delta Green might be good, or Savage Worlds. One of those two. There is a Weird War 2 in Savage Worlds you could use the bones of. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Savage Worlds has, like, everything you would ever need. I just don't know what people would want to see, what game system. This would be the good thing for me to vote, or have people vote on the channel in a poll or something. The best and most degenerate tabletop bourbon and ball bags. ball gags. I get out of being a DM and being what? Shit. Nobody wants me to be DM. Yeah, you're a little harsh on him or something. I suppose to do Delta Green. I was supposed to do Delta Green, never got around to it. I highly recommend checking out, I think it's, you know, the Game Nights channel that does tabletop wargaming stuff. They've done a ton of bolt action and stuff. I think they've done Konflikt, I forget. But they have another channel which the one dude runs. It's called Mystery Quest, and they've done like big Delta Green campaigns and stuff. And it's one, I don't watch a lot of TTRPG channels, you know, like Critical Role or any of the, and then there's a million other channels. But I will say Mystery Quest is fucking fantastic. You should check it out if you're into it. They've done Morkborg campaigns. I have Pirate Borg. I don't think Morkborg's necessarily the best fit because it's very like, Morkborg is kind of like Shadow Dark where like your character might literally die and you just make a new one. I feel like we want a little bit more of a forgiving system to where we're playing with like named American, or like, you know, it might not even be Americans. Maybe we could have a Russian, an American, and like a I don't know, whatever, like a French soldier or something, and they all end up in this weird Axis experiment, or who, you know, whatever. Or they could be like POWs or something. I want to be punished for my bullshit though. Well, I'm talking about for like a series on the channel. For playing with you guys, we could play all sorts of games if you guys want. Because I have a whole bunch of different games. If you guys want, we can, don't worry, I'll kill you guys off in game real quick as the DM. Rev's the worst though. If you get Rev as a DM, he will wipe the whole party on like the first encounter. What, you guys couldn't kill a copper dragon? I thought you guys had it. You guys are like so strong. I gave you all these cool abilities. And you guys died? Like first encounter, fight a massive sandworm. We're like, holy shit. I think it ate one of our, one of the other player characters, and we had to like, what was it? Oh my god. Oh my god, what's the name of it? Tremors, where they had to cut the dude out. I think they cut Roy, or what was his name? The guy with the badass dude with the guns. They cut him out in one of the later Tremors with like a saw out of the Tremor. But we had to like go underground and save one of our player characters because they were eaten by like a massive sandworm. We're like, we haven't even done anything yet. Get fucking sandwormed. Classic Rev. And then, like, half the party wouldn't show up, so it'd be me and one dude, and we'd be fighting. Like, he's like, yeah, sorry, I made this character for, like, when there were 6 of you guys. And me and this one dude are, like, fighting for, like, 3 hours. Like, holy shit! Like, constantly rolling joints. Best part is Rev, he had the old apartment, or place he was renting. We could, like, we were all smoking joints by the window outside while he's DMing, because we refused to, we're like, just keep going, keep going. We'd go outside, me and this man, we'd be blazing up. And we had a dice box we'd bring outside and roll it. You've never wiped the party? No, 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 you've never. I never said you wiped the party. I just say you could if you wanted to. And you know it. Which is good though. We the type of players he had, we're not the type of people that want like an easy encounter, so. There the man is himself. The meta sheep. D&D sheep. No, I'm joking. I'm happy you guys tried Savage World. That was a lot of fun. One day we'll do more of that. Right now we're very busy, but one day when we get older, I think we'll probably have to keep doing our TTRPGs like once a week sort of thing. At some point. You're a pretty good DM. I did Wrath and Glory. That was my first ever game I DM'd, was Wrath and Glory for Rev and a bunch of my friends on Discord. And that was a lot of fun. That was kind of a hard game to like first get into, but it wasn't the worst. It did set me up for crunchy games in the future, because there was a good amount of crunch in that game. Rev has a bamboo FDM, the bamboo A1. Yep, enjoy the solo Team Fortress, Glovek. They don't have lobbies with cheaters? Isn't that who plays Team Fortress 2 now? There's got to be some private servers, right, or something? I DM a lot for Starfinder. They took on a 2-headed shark god underwater in armor. God damn. Well, that'll do it. They're like level 1 peasants with like pitchforks. Alright, you guys shall now fight Poseidon, the shark god. He has 8 activations, and he goes first. Trying to think, what's the craziest thing I've done? I don't think I'm pretty soft on my players at times. Where I excel, it's not really the battles, even though that's like my main thing I love is setting up battles. It's the role play stuff. You can ask Rev. I'll get people involved. You know what I mean? And well, all of a sudden I'll just be like, you know what? Fuck it, we're doing it. And next thing you know, they're like doing carnivals and shit. All sorts of weird shit. I'm just fucking with you, Klovek. Got my first Warhammer model for Wrath and Glory. Was immediately conscripted in the Guard. True, that's one of the main... That's one of your... what is the name of a Guardsman character unit in 40k? A Commissar or something, right? I remember. What was your character's name, though? And they had a whole ship, didn't you? Didn't you have... Yeah, you guys had an entire... What's the name of the big-ass battleships they have in Warhammer 40k that they fly around? Oh, no, but he was a rogue trader. But still, they had, like, a gigantic ship. I'm like, yeah, sure, you can just have it. They had, like, 10,000 dudes on the ship. Raygun. That was his name, Raygun. The name of the infamous fake breakdancing chick from Australia later on. And many years later, we found out. Or... crappy one at least. I do naval combat and tactical combat well in D&D. I've ran Ghost of Saltmarsh. Yeah, we did the last campaign I did was Savage Worlds, but a pirate version, and that was a lot of fun because we did a lot of ship combat and like naval stuff. A lot of it was theater of the mind though, which honestly works well for ships. Trying to like track ship battles on a table can be freaking a little too much. I'm very much so, I like having miniatures and stuff, and the board, I'm the biggest proponent of that, but I'm also like, you know, trying to set the mood for like the area, the ambiance as they're going around, characters and voices and all sorts of crap. And I also pretty much, I've learned you just say yes to everything. If you just say yes to everything, or just do yes and. The worst way you could DM is no. If you just say no all the time. It's the last thing you want to do as a DM. You want to say yes, but, or yes and, you know. Once I learned that, I was like, psh, off to the races we go. Sure, you can do that. But if you screw it up now, you're gonna fucking die. Like you're gonna fall out of a window or something. Yes, but everything has a price, exactly. I mean, within reason. There were some things where I'm like, that's just not physically possible unless you could like somehow explain to me how you're gonna magically do it. And if it sounds cool, then I'll let you do it. I Pathfinder, I ended up going rogue, getting my party killed, but won and turned their former kingdom into crazy sun-worshipping cults. Okay, okay. Rev had a rough DM, the last one. It was like half the party hated, like we all hated each other, and like, because it was his cousin Eddie and his girlfriend, and they constantly ran off, and then we would have to sit there while he was DMing for them for like 30 minutes, and it just got out of control. So eventually we just left them to die, and we just let them die or something, and moved on. But it was just like it was just the most contentious D&D group. And I felt so bad for Rev, because we were all like, fuck this, fuck you, we are not sitting here listening to you guys run off and like go unconscious again while we have to sit here for 30 minutes. But later on, I actually, in my campaign, we had like a good amount of people from that group, and it worked so well. It was just funny how I felt bad for it. That was a rough campaign for him. We were all fucking like, oh yeah, I sold his cousin Eddie, constantly was dying, this, that. I think we brought him back to life, and the first thing he did, if I'm not wrong, I forgot what happened, but he like, something happened, but he broke into a potion shop and got turned into stone, because the potion shop was like the greatest potion maker of all time. He like booby-trapped it. So I took Eddie, which is his cousin, I took his player character who was, you know, turned to stone, and I sold him at the market. I was like, we're done with this dude. We're getting rid of him right now. I just got rid of him. In that scenario, normally, even if, you know, you'd save your teammate or something, but I looked at the other dude and I said, is anyone else here? No, I got a hand cart, and I like went down to the market and I sold him. So he had to make a new character, I think, or something. I think he got brought back from stone and then he died. I don't know. His cousin is the most like the most chaotic D&D player you'll ever play with, and it's actually kind of fun. But oh my god, it was hilarious. It was some wild stuff. I was like, I would never do that. I'm the type of person that's pretty understanding as a player. Let another player play how they want, even if it's kind of annoying for the rest of the team at some times. Whatever, they're just, you know, everybody does things differently. But I was done. I was like, nope, I'm taking Eddie. And I looked at him, I said, is there a stone market nearby? Or is there a place that'll buy statues at a high price? And I wheeled him down. Because he looked at me from across the table. He's like, oh, you're going to help me, right? Or something. I forgot. I was like, I'm selling your ass. Yo, Tiki, thanks for handing out, brother. Appreciate it. But, yeah. I miss it. It is a good time. But I think if I end up doing something for the channel, it'll be like a Konflikt 47 TTRPG thing. You know what I mean? Using some game system. So, I don't know. We'll see. Not anytime in the near future, because it's all going to take a ton of effort to edit. This is really good paint. I forgot the name of it, but if you look for Black Craft paint on Amazon, it's like one of the first ones that pops up. It's really damn good. I've used a lot of cheap paints in my day from like craft stores, Hobby Lobby, dollar stores. And generally black paint's the worst because it's like, I don't know, it just ends up being like chalk and not a lot of whole like pigment in there to actually get the color. This paint is really good. I'm really happy with it. Get really good coverage on terrain pieces like this. That's important, you know? I'm gonna hit all this stuff with like a rust wash and a nasty coloration and dripping effects. I want to make sure I put like hanging moss and stuff and like different bushes and stuff. Though, I think some grass is okay. Maybe I should limit the sort of plants I put on there, and that way I can use it in winter or summer or fall terrain. I'm a little bit more careful, especially with doing winter terrain, because winter terrain is so specific. I'd rather have like a general green, brownish, you know, like facing terrain, and then I can always... I feel like you could still use that for winter, but I haven't gotten to the point to where I've replicated everything in winter and non-winter form, you know? Alright, that should be all of them. Roughly dry brushed. What's all this going to end up being? Just ruined buildings like this. Imagine just like ruined little sheds and garages or something. But specifically for Zona Alpha, I think it's going to be great for like Stalker-esque stuff. But it's going to be for pretty much everything. But just like ruins, you know, concrete structures for conflict, bolt action. I see a lot of like ruined buildings that are a lot of terrain that's based that I really like from like tabletop command post, barefoot miniatures, vice versa. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to, because the 3D printed buildings are great and I absolutely love using them 90% of the time, but there's something really nice to having like a structure with like you know, texture to it. So it's like this could be like a little concrete base. They built this building on it and now there's like some grass growing and some dirt and stuff. I did something like that when 2nd edition was first announced. What's that? Preparation on how cheap K47 is in comparison to 40K. So boring so far. Need to compare prices with points you're getting and do the same for 40K. I don't think, yeah, maybe just don't do everything, or obviously just do some, and you know, maybe I think the whole point of the video should also maybe be about like explaining a reason why you, not just money wise, but a reason why you'd want to try Conflict as well, like, because you can mix that in while you're talking about prices, about like, you know, the feel of the game and everything. And you also don't need as many miniatures. I don't know. Yeah, you got to find a way to make it interesting, I guess. Also, Jenny Bratz, what's going on? How's it going? How you doing? How's the paint desk? Great. I'm so down to do a TTRPG anytime I'm not working. All right, sounds good. Are you done? We could do like a little. How about this? Maybe one day we'll do a one shot with some of you guys. You know what I mean? We could do a one shot. All right. But I'm definitely going to do a solo like Konflikt 47 series where it's like, you know, I have like a couple characters and they're trying to survive. And we can do little seasons where we do different characters. Warlord just isn't good enough without any FOMO boxes. Yeah. You're just talking about when it comes to comparing in a video. But you can, all you need to rail, I mean, Morty's done a great job in some videos. That's what convinced us. He just showed us, he showed the box. It was like $150 for an entire bolt action army. And I was like, well, that's really all I needed to see. And then it was more so, what army do I want to go with? So maybe you should like talk about like compare some pricing, but also go over just the generics, like, you know, because if somebody's looking at that, they might not know as much. You could be like, for the Germans or the Axis, you could do this or something. I don't know. All right. Let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do next. Probably a lighter grayish color. I want to paint. I did broken like metal beams, so I want to paint those. I think what we're really going to end up doing at some point is going to be working on the basing, because I mean, I honestly don't feel like I need much on the walls and stuff, other than just we're going to dry brush it again with a lighter color on the edges and stuff, and then it's just really like washing and stuff. Not me, because I had no idea about bolt action. You're not making these videos for, you're not making why Konflikt 47 is cheaper for people who play Konflikt 47, or you're making them for people who are going to be potentially watching it for the first time. I mean, people will watch it, but think about it from that perspective. You know what I mean? You gotta think as it is an opportunity for people who are like first getting into a glimpse at Konflikt or something. But I don't know. You figure it out. It's your video. Look forward to Jenny and I playing K-47 Fallout with Russian rated versus NCR Americans. Hell yeah. And I'm 100% voting for the NCR, by the way. Jenny Bratz, you get my full backing and support from Commander George Washington for the NCR. He'll send over some additional mortars and some advisors, Paragon advisors, your way. Down with the Soviet scum. You're like, hey, I play Soviets too. I saw what. Let's take a. I mean, real quick. I'm gonna grab a drink here in a second. Let's take a look at the Discord. I wanted to show off the, what sort of sprues are you using for your Soviets? The power armor dudes. Is this gonna work? It is. These guys. They look sick. Just a mix of stuff. You got all sorts of bits and bobs. I see you're doing some, like, you're gluing some stuff on, but I could see that there's like armor dudes. I was just curious what sort of. They almost look like, yeah, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. They look sick though. That guy looks cool. Look at those helmets. Look, look at the desk. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, until Warlord shares one of your desk photos. They showed a desk photo recently, and they're like, share your workstations. If they don't share yours, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I can still support them. I don't think it gets better than this. These look great, but I don't think it gets better than these sort of pictures we get from you, by the way. A lot of Atlantic war game parts. Anyone working in a factory hates a non-conformancy report? What did you say? Yeah, so Sean, we got to figure out what my paint scheme is going to be, because I don't think I'm going to match it exactly to Rev's, but it doesn't need to match perfectly for it to work. So, because you could totally just use some desert-looking troops and have clankers be looking different. But Birdie, I'm going to do a mixture. But I haven't figured out the color scheme. This looks great, though. I love the coloration. Oh, I got to show you guys. I don't know, dude. I don't know what direction I'm going in. I feel lost. But the Turks. I did some color highlight testing. I still don't know. I think it might be red we have to try out, or maybe no highlights at all. I don't know what I need to do. We'll take a look. But now I don't know what to do anymore. I saw the pink. These look sick, though. Like, see, this looks great. This is just like a bone metallic-y looking color. Looks fantastic, you know what I mean? It's very simple. They're bots, too, so I think whether they're British desert color or green or whatever I pick, I think it's just going to work, because I'm not doing anything crazy. It's just going to be like a war metallic-y sort of thing. But yeah, I gotta figure that out because the bots are coming Monday. So I saw you did your Mark 1s or something. I saw you put out a video today, I think, Scar. I have the automated platoon box coming on Monday. So that's going to have 10 Mark 1s, 2 Mark 2s, and the director. So we got to put those together and paint it. I ordered 8 of the British armored the armored infantry, so the power armor guys, the 8-man box, the old one. And yeah, so I got to figure out what we're going to do. So I'm going to use Birdie as like my starting point because I'm going to paint it different colors. So I think I'm going to paint the legs and arms different colors to represent different bots that it's picked up parts from. So that'll give me a kind of testing bed to see what I like. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, honestly, the U.S. Heavy Infantry, the Galahad guys, they're nothing special. But I had so much fun playing with the U.S. Heavy Infantry in the last battle report. And you know what? They did all right. LMGs, just some dudes. So, and it's a unit that can move at regular speed compared to the bot. So, I really like the look of them, which is the main thing I like. You know what I mean? So that's the big thing. I kind of buy minis based off of looks a lot of times, and what I like visually. I didn't want too many bots either. The bots are probably just good in general, but I just don't want like a full bot army, you know. I want to use some of the... I might get the regular actual Cerebus, because I found my Tariff Redemptions, thanks to Rev. We talked about it last stream. But I have like points on Warlord, so I can buy like a squad of the actual the doggies Cerebus squad. Because I do kind of want an actual Cerebus squad. We'll see, though. I don't know. Or I was going to get the platoon commander squad and the 3 guys in the armor. Because I've used that one guy in my videos before. What was it? Williamson! Or whatever. He was yelling at the guy with the monkey. I don't even remember. I know the monkey's name is George. I think it's Williamson. Is Williamson. Is his name. Alright. Real quick, let's get some classic tunes going. And let me make sure. Yeah, we wetted the brush a little bit. Dry it off. And we could do some dry brushing. Get a new piece of cardboard. I'm going to take a break here soon and grab a drink, but let's keep going. This is much lighter. I gotta be careful. This could like really overdo it. So I try and be a little bit more careful with this because this is like a primer, airbrush primer paint, and it's my brush is a little wet as well. A little wetter than I'd like it. Far too wet, in fact. Hey, Valor Games. What's going on? Appreciate you stopping by. Let's go ahead and just kind of hit some edges. With some lighter colors. Lighter gray color. Making some terrain for not only Conflict, but Zona Alpha, one-page rules, just about everything, really. Could even use this in fantasy, these ones, I think. Maybe not the more square, or the more intact square ones, but... just say it's plastered brick. So the package head out? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Valor Games actually, what do you call it, works with the tabletop strategist, and they helped facilitate it. So, shout out to Valor Games here in chat. Speaking of which, chat, If you guys are looking to pick up some K-47 or bolt action here in the U.S., make sure to check out Tabletop Strategist. Hopefully the new video, what do you call it? Put some eyes on you guys. And I'm pretty sure everybody that watched left a comment and everything because the video is doing very good. Popped off, at least for my channel. I also have to get ready for 40K tournament. I might go to the end of the week. Ooh, it's a lot of time to work on modes on Sunday or models on Sunday. Maybe a secret Sunday stream. Ooh, okay. What are you gonna be working on next? Oh, the Soviets. That's right. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing streams building the Brits, and I'm gonna start working on. We'll you know what? We'll get ready to do a test TTRPG stream with you guys, or maybe I'll do like a solo thing, and you guys can play along. But I'd really like to start figuring out. Now I need to start thinking. What's going to be the game system I'm going to use for the solo Konflikt TTRPG series for the channel? I'm going to have to start looking into that, because that sort of stuff takes some serious prep. Even though I'm going to be using a Mythic emulator, I need to like have a bunch of stuff ready if I'm going to make video on that or do a series or something. Well, they were nice enough to reach out to me, so shout out. Yeah, I've never reached out for any sponsorships. I did reach out to... I applied to the affiliate program for Warlord. But other than that, I've never asked any companies for anything or anything like that. My dad lives by this, like, belief. And I kind of follow the same thing where, like, the universe will kind of just, like, everything will happen. So... the universe shall provide. And it came in the form of the Tabletop Strategist as the first sponsor, so shout out. They took a chance on the... because we're not a very big channel, you know what I mean? But I think they saw we're pretty dedicated to making cool conflict videos, so... which, even though, you know, it's whatever, and I'm sure other people... I always love it, dude. People are like... damn, dude, this might be one of the best conflict battle reports I've ever seen. I love hearing that, because I spent 3 days editing that damn video. That's always the best thing to hear. I'm like, alright. It was, the voice acting wasn't too cheesy. It was just cheesy enough for conflict. But I'm happy people seem to receive it well. I mean, for the most part, our videos do pretty good, and people, I think I do a pretty good job to give them what they want for a conflict battle report in our style, but... oh, he's like, how's this one gonna do? Did I do a good job? Did I not? Because it's kind of like a, you know, you're like the director, the filmer, the producer... the main set designer. You know what I mean? The universe also gave K-47 Morkborg. You guys really want to see Morkborg? They have Spaceborg or something. I don't think they have a modern version of Morkborg. There might be a supplement. But Morkborg, you guys won't even know the characters' names. They're probably going to die like every 2 episodes. I think Cinematic Tabletop does a fantastic job, and I'm not going to ban you. You guys can have your... I think, but we also do slightly different styles. I'm like in between a Morty and Glory, or like a Tabletop Command Post battle report, and the Cinematic Tabletop battle report, to where it's like a mix of like cinematic type shots and stuff, but also not just us talking while playing the game. But everybody has a niche, and everybody fits a certain area, so. But I also think I found, like, my little niche of, like, Because I saw cinematic tabletop. I'm like, that looks sick, dude. I should do videos like that. And I'm like, well, that's a fucking hell of a lot of hard work. Why don't I do it in between? Because I still want to make edited videos that are more than just me and Rev playing in a room with some music in the background. There's nothing wrong with that. I do love those videos, like a Mordian battle report or like a, you know, other channels, Tabletop Command Post, where it's more like longer form videos of, it's like you're there playing with them. That being said, Cosmic, could you please ban Klovik from the chat? Thank you. But I'm for an actual narrative, like movie style battle report, cinematic. I don't even do anything like that. Cinematic tabletop's the king. You know what I mean? Absolutely. He's got like freaking moving backgrounds and like all sorts of crazy. He's got like 10 voice actors. I don't know how the hell he does it, but I always comment on his videos and say how freaking impressive the editing is, because I edit Konflikt 47 battle reports and I know what goes into it, and like the tools he's probably using to make his videos. It's a lot of hard work. But that's also not my style of battle report, you know. So I think it's good finding like your style and how you want to make videos and stuff. It's the same thing with my fly tying videos. There's a ton of different fly tying channels on YouTube, but people like recognize my fly tying videos from the thumbnail and right away from watching it, because I have my own style of like making a fly tying video. And it was inspired by some other people, but it's like definitely like my own style. I've like doing my own thing, you know, which I think is important in the content creation world. I gotta get back to work lives and save people's lives and stuff. Yeah. Make sure you harvest a couple good organs, all right? From those motorcycle guys or whatever. But thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate it, brother. Good luck with the otters. The river otters, as usual. Cosmic's like taking people's livers. Hey, I've been eating that. Buy myself a new Soviet platoon. Listening to your battle reports while cleaning at work and cinematic tabletop is more of a movie. Good. I'm glad that's. I'm glad you guys. What do you call it? Like the style and everything. Because I don't go like full bore like sound effects and crazy like cinematic tabletop does, which is absolutely amazing. But the way I narrate and stuff too, I try to make it to where it's like almost, I guess you could say, not like a movie, but you know, like a presentation film or something. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. I just hit record and then edit, so. I'm not going to try and get inside the mind of a dog. It's God's work. Famous quote, famous TV show. You get a golden star, whoever can tell me who said the quote and from what show. And Rev is excluded, because he probably already does know it. I'm not going to try and get inside the mind of a dog. That's God's work. I'd give you the beginning half of the sentence, but it's quite vulgar. Praise be the Flayer. I'm a biker. You can have all this shit once I'm done with it. I just love the classic Jeremy Clarkson thing. Rev's a biker too. I think he actually got into an accident with a minivan while driving once and just... it was the person's fault too or something, I think. Or maybe, I don't know, who knows. But Rev is like, he'll get into an accident and just keep on cruising like it's, what do you call it? He won't even like, you can't, I don't even think you could hit him off the bike. He's like Easy Rider or something. But that being said, Jeremy Clarkson scared the shit out of me. He's like, yeah, when they're at the London ER doctors, they're waiting for an organ transplant. They just, well, it's raining today. We'll just wait for somebody on a scooter or a motorcycle. And we'll get an organ transplant. That being said, though, no jokes aside, motorcycles are extremely dangerous. Not because of you riding the motorcycle, but because of some teenage girl looking at TikTok is going to hit you while driving. It's like more dangerous than ever to drive a motorcycle now, or like skateboard on the side of the street, ride a bicycle. Because the amount of people I see that drive like this. They're like this. Like, what are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you doing? I think it's just, you gotta be careful around cars in general. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's fucking, people just don't pay attention nowadays. They're like, but I have a smart sensor. It didn't tell me I was running you over. I have, like, it tells me when I run people over. I've done it before, you know? Like, people back up in parking lots without even looking because they have, like, a little camera that beeps. People get, like, hit by parking lots all the time. They're, like, backing into, like, freaking cars and shit. Oh, did your brother get the bike on the road? Is that thing still good? He had that son of a bitch sitting for like years. For like what was it? Like under $1,000, that Chinese electric dirt bike scooter thing? That thing still works? Damn, dude. They used some good parts on it and shit then. Because that thing, how old is that thing now? I remember almost cracking my head open driving it at your old house years and years ago when you first got it. And I'm like, damn, that shit looks cool. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is like an electric bike. It's like an electric scooter. What the hell is this thing? It's not even like a dirt bike. And I still almost killed myself trying to go around the neighborhood on it. I went way too fast doing like a quick turn at the turning around, and I almost fucking launched it. I'm usually riding the electric longboard these days. The thing does 30. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and imagine you doing 30 and some chicks or some dudes looking at TikTok hits you on that fucking thing. Holy shit. Walking is good. I do like walking. But even walking my dog, we were talking about it last night. I used to rollerblade with my pit bull back in the day. And, dude, there's, like, you just gotta watch out. You gotta watch out. We used to skateboard. I can't even tell you how many times I've ended up on underneath the bumper of a Corvette once. That was completely my fault. But we've also had tons of times where like our friends like almost got hit by cars, or like our skateboards like fucking got crushed, or like went across roads and people like went out and like tackled our friends or something. We used to do a bunch of dumb shit on the side of the road. I don't know how we didn't get hit by cars. 2016 KYMCO K-Pipe. That's the bike. Yeah. Yo, what do you mean we're not legally? Oh, you mean just as in general? Hell yeah, baby. It's called oil. What's it called? Black gold. Crude. Alaskan something. I don't know. There's like a saying that people used to do where they'd ring off all the names. And guess what? All we got to do is just, bomb some country, get some more of it, where I can put it in my Suburban. No problem. $3 a gallon. Sheesh. People are out walking all the time. We're just not allowed to go anywhere. You know how every time I leave my house during the summertime, there's so much fucking traffic. There's people walking everywhere. I'm like, dude, this is... Do you remember? I mean, I guess it's always been like this on the east end of Long Island, but I feel like it's like... Dude, I can't even go to the next town over to get some, like, tobacco and stuff without, like, sitting in traffic for, like, 45 minutes in the middle of the day some of these days. I haven't, like, left my house much this summer, dude. It's been so freaking packed in the town over here. I mean, it's a summer town, but still. It's like, I feel like there's more and more every year. It's just more and more people, more traffic, more this and that. I can't even go to the Bev anymore because they put that stupid 7-Eleven. I do go to it, but like pulling out of there is a pain in the ass now. I think it's that 7-Eleven. That 7-Eleven has like clogged up that area so bad. Fucking up my whole perception. That area is fucked now. Pardon my French. Do not try and get gas there either. Because it's like a... Not that I would ever go to a 7-Eleven gas station unless I'm up the island, but... It's like such a small parking or something. My dad went to go there and some dude hit him, like hit his bumper. Trying to like back up or something. I don't know. He was like, fuck that place. He was like yelling. You have to walk straight across. That's funny. There's only one country in the world that has jaywalking laws. I was shocked and appalled. That's essentially to stop people from not using like a designated crosswalk. So that way, like, what do you call it? People don't just like walk across the street in dangerous areas more so. You're not going to get arrested for crossing the street in any residential neighborhood or anywhere. But if you're like in a busy place where there's a ton of traffic and you just walk across the street and like freaking cause a freaking traffic accident, yeah, that's where they have like jaywalking laws, like in the city and stuff. But that's not like an American thing all over. Yeah, but you know, technically it probably is a law, but they'll only use it if they want to like stop you illegally. You know what I mean? See if you have drugs. Classic American police stuff. But hey, at least we can write stuff on Facebook. Am I right? Sorry, Aussies. Nah, I'm joking. Everything's fucked. We're all fucked. Deep state, deep state. Have you guys seen those, the AI cameras? They're making tons of videos on them now. The, what's the name of them? The flock cameras here in the U.S. that track, essentially like people's cars and stuff. And like apparently people are like now vigilante destroying all the flock cameras because they're like linked to like data collection and like monitoring every single American. They use it for law enforcement, but now there's like all these YouTubers I don't know what happened, but I saw like 6-7 YouTube videos with like 1 million views in the past couple of days talking about it. It's called flock cameras. Pedestrians actually have the right of way to cross anywhere, no crosswalk needed? Yeah. But thing is, a cab driver in New York City is not going to stop. He's going to run your ass over because he's got a fare to do. So they decided, well, we can't let him just cross anywhere. So, like, you legally can't cross. I think it's considered jaywalking in New York City if you just cross random streets. The cops don't ever do anything about it. I mean, you can steal $1,000 worth of stuff in New York City and get it's barely even a misdemeanor. So, like, but I think jaywalking laws technically still do exist. It's like, you know, probably if they want to pull you over if they don't like the way you look or something. But I think there is jaywalking laws in certain, like, I don't know if it's in this township, but I bet you there's a township on Long Island that has jaywalking laws. It's different. Each township's different. How they do their laws is different. You know what I mean? It's like they can, like, for instance, a town can ban skateboarding on the sidewalk, like south, you know, one of the towns around here. So. I bet you there's jaywalking laws on Long Island, but we don't. It's not like you're ever gonna really have to deal with it. It's more so if you're probably like being a drunk asshole walking across the street, they what do you call it? They might get you for jaywalking. They're like, all right, whatever, you know what I mean? When your path is jaywalking is when your path is J-shaped. What? Jaywalking is crossing the street illegally where you're not supposed to. What the hell are you talking about? What sort of definition of jaywalking are you talking about? You gotta watch Rev, dude. He's like... There's a reason why I've seen Morty and argue with him a couple times on stream. Alright? He's like, no, it's when you walk in a J pattern across the street. What are you talking about? What sort of nonsense is this? Oh, Klovek, you better watch yourself. You're on thin ice, buddy. Alright? You're on thin ice. Don't start getting too wild now, all right? We're going to have to break out a temporary timeout for you. It's a nickname from for a J, which is an old name for an idiot. So you're just calling someone an idiot for crossing the road. No, when you start crossing and start turning halfway across. We're going to Google it right now. Jaywalking definition. Cross or walk across a road unlawfully without regard for approaching traffic. There's nothing about you start crossing the road, then you turn halfway. Is that what you're trying to, like, say? Is that's the definition of jaywalking legally? It originated as a deviation for the phrase J driver, meaning greenhorn. So like somebody who is less experienced or something. People who drove horse-drawn carriages and automobiles on the wrong side of the road. It's the act of a pedestrian walking in or crossing a roadway in a manner that contravenes traffic regulation. What? Contravene? Is that how you say that? I know, like, contrived, but contravene is like violate the probation of order of a law.
Contravene.
Interesting. Are we having this kind of a debate? This is what I do with Rev all the time when we're filming. Like, while we're filming a battle report, we're arguing about jaywalking. Because they'll say, I'll be like, what are you talking about? That's not what that means. And that's what's going on in the background while we're filming. Just letting you know during the battle reports. It's not like we're having dense or like really good conversations like, well, if I do this, then I can do this, or, you know, what can we do? It's me arguing about something that Rev said, and he's just like trying to prove a point. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Telephone the same, hearing at a distance. Okay. That being said, Rev, you are getting a ticket for jaywalking. Okay? You are now ticketed for jaywalking. Specifically, or I shouldn't say specifically, for the broad definition of crossing the road illegally. Or in a way that impedes traffic. Okay? No, we'll see you in court. That'll be $35. Yeah, right. I bet you a jaywalking ticket. What's a jaywalking ticket in New York? It's probably like... What do you guys think? It's probably like $75 or something like that. Probably under $100. But they're like, that's alright, we'll just get this guy for like $100 easy. 75, 80, I bet you. New York City jaywalking ticket. Alright. I'm going to refill my drink real quick and just stand and stretch my back, because that's really the main thing. I need to stand up about every hour or so and just walk around a little bit because of my back. So we're just going to take a quick little break, and we'll keep on dry brushing. I got one more to dry brush here. Rough up the areas. I want to paint some metal beams on the sides and add some rusty bits and bobs, and then maybe we could do some like gluing of grasses later on. See, look at this. Half the chat, we're old men. Cope, mauled, seethe. Well, seethe is a real word, but cope and mauled, those are nonsense languages. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, dude, I gotta stretch. Alright, chat, I'm gonna take a quick little break, alright? I'll be back in just a couple minutes here. I'm just gonna run and refill my drink real quick and just stretch my back out. What do you call it? We're gonna hit these with some more colors when I get back, and then, like I said, we'll probably do some basing stuff here at some point, so. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment, chat. Leave you guys with some AOE 2 music and our little slideshow. You guys can argue about jaywalking and how to mix resins, and I'll be back in a little bit, alright? All right, thank you for being patient. You talking about EOJ monsters or something? All right, we got one more thing to dry brush, then we'll do some brown for the ground, a dark black brownish color. Yeah, one of the reasons why I was like, I have to just bite the bullet and get a new 3D printer is I'm in the middle of working on the Turkish army, which is all 3D printed, and I'm doing videos for it. So I was like, all right. I use the 3D printer so much for the channel here. I just gotta bite the bullet and get one. Alright, we're gonna keep dry brushing here. Get the raised, or the edges with a brighter gray. And Rev, yo, thank you for coming in for the 6 months, brother, with the re-up. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. I think that would be a cool. I would think about it more though downstairs. The Konflikt 47 TTRPG series, where I pick a series. I think that's gonna be cool. We'll see. Maybe I can do one with Americans, and I can do one with like Soviets. Do one with the Japanese, like some Japanese troops that are in the Americas or something. Could be a fun thing. Because we're kind of focused on the more macro side of conflict, where it's like larger battles. It'd be cool to kind of look into the everyday life and see what happens. I mean, we'd be making it up as we go, but that's kind of the whole point of playing those games. It's still kind of hot, but it's starting to cool down. I might turn the AC off here soon. It was cooking earlier outside. No, dude, you don't ever have to donate. Don't worry about it. God, it just closed the cap. It got primer all over me. You never have to donate. Just hanging out and watching means a lot, dude. Don't worry about it. It just sprayed primer everywhere. Like a micro amount of primer all over the place. And then like dots. I don't think I got it in my eye, but... maybe tempted to break out the old D20 modern system. Hell yeah. Yo, Jonathan, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I got it like all over my mouse pad, my face. It's a Vallejo airbrush primer. I don't think I got it in my eye, but now I'm in my head that I got my eye. I want to like mess with it, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know what the best system would be to do a Konflikt TTRPG run. I mean, I have everything for Savage Worlds. I could literally do it this afternoon if I wanted to. But there might, like, Delta Green might be better for it. I don't know. I have to think about it. Yeah. Not the exact wording. No, there's like a little paint buildup in the cap. So, like, a little paint was in there, and I closed the cap, and it just freaking launched it everywhere. So... Oopsie. Because I've been talking about doing TTRPG stuff, but it's hard to get a big group together. And I've done solo stuff and I have a lot of fun. And I wanted to make content out of it, but I wanted to make sure it's also in line with what I do on the channel. So I think if I could find a way of doing it conflict style, that'd be cool. Yo, what's going on, Bobzilla? How's it going? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I think the next video that's coming out on this channel is going to be the George Washington kit bash, which I got to finish editing, but I got to finish a fly tying video first later today. I don't know, we might, if Rev's here, we might skip tomorrow. Maybe you can do some hobby, catch up on hobby stuff, and I can catch up on editing. But I need to do the George Washington mini video. And then we also have a Grimdark Future Firefight Battle Report that I still need to edit. But I'm going to be making some conflict videos, like the Turkish conflict video, the George Washington kit bash one. I might also do some, like, I don't know, I'm thinking about doing maybe some topic stuff, but who knows. And I would like to do a solo series. I would like to do Zona Alpha, but that might take a little bit. So I might do a little mini one-page rules Star Quest solo series. I've never actually tried it, but there's one called Action Cthulhu. That's the thing, Cthulhu, I think Delta Green is based off of the Cthulhu games, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong, but they're both D100 systems, and I think the Action one is like a World War II game based off the Cthulhu system, the Call of the Cthulhu system. Which, those games are kind of right up my alley, where it's a D100 system, and it's not the most complicated thing, because filming a TTRPG game, the last thing you want to do is be doing bookkeeping 24/7. So that actually might be, that's why I was thinking Delta Green too, because Delta Green is kind of simple in that regard. I could always try different game systems, I guess, right? And do it like that. I don't have to be married to one. I know Savage Worlds is, I have everything, that's why I was interested, but I'll take a look at the Action Cthulhu. Because I've watched Call of Cthulhu games, and I've watched some other stuff, and it's good. The thing is, it would be edited down. It wouldn't be the raw TTRPG gameplay. It would be an edited down thing. To be like a 20-minute long video, probably. You know what I mean? Maybe like an hour-long session, you know, that I break down into a 20-minute long edit. Keep it simple, you know? Because I've done it before. If you make it into big sessions and stuff like you're talking about, Scar, it's too much. It quickly gets out of hand, and you're gonna fall behind in trying to make videos and all that crap. All right. Wet the brush, get some of the gray out of here. Make our own little dark brown mixture, because the brown I have is way too bright. I'm not gonna summon your old world god or whatever you're trying to get me to do right now, okay? Whatever sort of cult activities you got going on. Alright, we're gonna go with a little black and then some of this brown. Mix it up. Do a dark brown, then we'll do the basing. But before I even think about doing TTRPG stuff, I would like to try just a solo series of some sort of a solo tabletop game. So I was going to do like 5 parsecs. Or like Rangers of Shadow Deep, or like the Zone Alpha. But they do have, One-Page Rules has a solo version. And it's like you have 3 heroes and you fight waves of enemies. And you can use the app and everything. So I might use them. I might start with that. Because I have everything, I can do it. I can use my cool OPR Saurians. Posted some pics from today's game in the Discord if you're interested. Oh, always, dude. We'll take a look here in a sec. Give me a sec. I have a bunch of paint on my brush. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you again, Boot Mountain, by the way. Get some 07s in the chat. Thank you for the super chat. And you can... I always, obviously, appreciate you guys being generous on the channel, but I'm always down to take a look at some stuff in the Discord. You could just post it, and we'll take a look. We usually take a look at, like, later on in the stream or something. Or before I get done. But I'll take a look here in a sec. We'll peruse. But thank you, my friend. Very kind. Danke, danke, as the Germans say. Yeah, we gotta take a look. Jenny posted some stuff too, like a big ass grizzly or something. I always love seeing the miniature photos, but also the battle report stuff. So I love it when you guys share stuff like that. We'll see. At some point, I might need to like just make a whole separate Discord, but right now I'm just kind of having both my communities mixed together, and it's been fine. So maybe we'll just leave it into a big communal Discord for both my channels, I guess. Muddy walls, eh? Okay. Now that I've gotten most of the paint off the brush, let's take a look. Street sign. Ah, very nice. Let's take a look. What was the caption? Picks from today's game. 2v2s. I've been seeing a lot of people playing 2v2s and stuff. 2v2s, Brits versus Soviets. 1k each. Okay, so a full 2,000 point total versus 2,000. The Tesla Mark IIs are great with the directors. I haven't won with my robots yet, but they're a blast to play with. Hell yeah, dude. Is that the list? Oh, I like the color scheme on them. The color scheme looks cool. You just got to do the basing, and you're good to go. It's like kind of tan with like some reddish greenish color. That looks cool. This is the next. Well, actually, this is technically you have a road on it, but I want like a farm battle mat. That's the next thing we need to get at some point. This looks great too. The board looks sick. It looks like you're still maybe setting it up almost. So we got the Brits, the Commonwealth, more Commonwealth. Okay, so 2 Commonwealth. Is that a Merlin? That's a Merlin, right? From the looks of it. And then what? Soviets, it looks like, right? So that's the Kazakh, right? Which one's this? The Malat. This is a Zukioi projector T-Series tank. And then another Malat, looks like. Soviet power armor, I want to say, right there. Very cool. The Vagas. Sword and board Brits. Oh, I like the Tesla cannon. That looks good. I'm excited to get my platoon box, by the way. The buildings look sick, too. Like, this is a nice looking board, too. Are these 3D printed buildings, or were these MDF? They look 3D printed, right? It's kind of hard to tell, though. They look good, though. The Brits slowly moving up the battlefield. We see some knocked out. Oh shit! What took out the walkers? Soviets taking a beating. It looks like. I'm trying to think what took out the. Was it the? Was it the Merlins or was it the? Autocannons or the Teslas, or you guys are doing work? Oh shit. Ah shit. Damn Ursus. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Looks great. Thank you for sharing, Boot Mountain. Appreciate that. Boar looks cool too. Nice and not too cluttered either. I brought 4 vehicles. Well, I brought 4 anti-tank guns. But the Soviets won in the end. Yeah, that's the thing though. You don't. Not whoever has the most stuff alive at the end usually wins. It's when you're playing with objectives and stuff. Moloch, man, I'm jealous. Okay, this is sick, by the way. Jenny Bratz with a sword and a freaking giant street sign. Oh my god, it is a street sign. It's like a exit I-95 street sign. That shit's great. That guy's got a freaking whole Bible or something. Huge book. Oh, is that your George Washington? Oh, you did the gun on the George Washington too? Hell yeah. We did the same thing. We both put Colt 1911s on there. Conflict does come down to the wire a lot. There's been games I've played where we gotten sweeped, but especially with certain objectives and stuff, doesn't really matter. Nice, some like Firefly looking dudes or something. Scout car, what is that? Stewart? And that's a Sherman. Dude, this guy is sick. I want to see a better picture of this. I want to see it from this angle. Like, you know, turn it to the right slightly here. This is cool. I haven't seen anyone do this, where there's a grizzly with a freaking, like, giant shield it's holding. Kudos. Very cool to that. Very good points. Sean, by the way, Warlord featured painter. Oh, wrong button. I did that on purpose. But Sean, our resident kills it every time painter. He also wears fezzes on the weekends. He sends me photos of him wearing fezzes. Can we just talk about how sick the flowers on the helmets look? Like, what a great job, as usual. Wait, is there... Oh, okay, it was just the way. I was like, did he put, like, mouths on there? No. And then Cosmic, we saw some of these. But we gotta take a look at this, the Darth Vader. His chat voted. They voted pink and white Darth Vaders. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Especially because he's got, like, purple dudes. Oh, that guy's sick. Oh, dude, part of me wishes we got into Legion. Now it's, like, impossible to find Legion miniatures. I don't think they're, like, supporting the game as much or something. It is a little contrived with, like, the mechanics and the dice and the cards, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe at some point we might play it. It does look sick. It's gonna look even better when it has free-handed town names painted on it. Oh, hell yeah. We missing anything else? I think we caught everything. This is Rudy's Ursus Infantry, which look great, by the way. I gotta figure out... I gotta get a nice wash. I gotta get a new wash. You posted more angles? Let's take a look. There we go. Hell yeah. Oh, so you made the street sign with tank treads and pieces of plastic. I thought it was, like, printed from, like, a Fallout thing. I see now. Okay. Ah, okay. That's sick. So this could be, like, the backside of like, a big, highway sign, I guess you could say, because they have, like, the mounts on it. Is it made from the German Skirtsen? It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? I was wondering what the shape was. I thought maybe it was like a wing to a plane, but you're right. I think it might be the Skirtsen. 10 kilometers to Dresden? Ah, but then it'd be in German. It wouldn't be in English. Yeah, it'd be like 10 miles to Washington, D.C. I do like your idea, though, if it's like a German sign. Because they're, like, in there, you know? Because, like, the idea is, like, this isn't a factory thing. This is, like, the crew did it in the field. The mech walker's like, give me a shield. You know what I mean? So it could be in the U.S., too, or something. All my fellows going to Dresden to get some rift-driven ladies. All right. Let's keep working. Thank you guys for sharing that stuff. Thank you to Boot Mountain. Very kind of you, sir. So some brown. That can always go with a light brown on top. I might take some of that mud effects Rev gave me, the old bottle, because I put a bunch of water in there and, like, definitely helped reinvigorate it. I might apply some mud areas to it. Maybe I should take, like, a miniature, dip its feet in the mud and walk it through there. That's maybe a little too much for a simple terrain piece. These honestly didn't come out that bad, though. What do you think, chat? I mean, we're still working on them, but for, like, some stalker ruined buildings or K-47, like, broken... just like Soviet junk concrete buildings, you know, whatever, like a horse barn or something. I don't know what that. This is where they kept the donkeys. Or whatever the hell they're doing over there. Just like, you know, some concrete Soviet-esque structures, whether it be Cold War or 40s, just like ruined stuff. I think it worked out pretty good. It took me only a couple hours to put all this stuff together, so... because I've made stuff like this in the past, and it kind of, like, I don't know, it's been a hit or miss, you know? Yo, Derelict, what's going on, dude? What are you already hopping? You already hopping out of here? I thought you just came. I haven't seen you. Or were you in here earlier and I missed you? But if you're leaving, have a nice night, dude. Appreciate it. Oh, you're talking to somebody leaving? I missed it. Stream ending already? No, what happened? Did we lose frames? We dropped frames for a second, but I don't think it was enough to make it seem like we were ending stream. I misread you. Did the stream stutter or something? My internet shut off earlier for like 2 minutes. So it was good that I wasn't streaming then. Oh, Klovek decided the stream was over. You know, Klovek, you're on thin ice. How's it going, Derelict? My bad. I thought you were like, all right, I'll have a great stream, dude. I'm like, wait, didn't you? I haven't even seen you chat. Did you just get here? What's going on, Derelict? What have you been up to? Forgive me, I guess. I guess. Also, what's going on, Damn Legion? How's it going? Must be out of popcorn. Yeah. Well, show's over. Just mixing some more paint up. Brown paint. Dry it off because that's way too much paint, and then we can hit it on up. Building up layers of colors and things. This is how you make terrain kind of just the next step, because I remember like doing it where I just paint it brown for the basing and stuff. But starting off with black, And then going with darker browns up to lighter ones and flocking and mixing all sorts of stuff. That's where the terrain starts getting a little bit fancier, I guess, but it's still just a piece of junk glued together. Doing okay. Been busy adding to my Anzac army. Latest addition is my Humber Mark II. Ah, very nice. I was looking at the Humber. I was genuinely thinking about getting the Commonwealth starter army for the K-47 faction because we got the platoon, but I ended up going with the Galahad guys. But it came with a Percival and a Humber Mark II, and I was like, what the hell does the Humber Mark II do? So I was looking into the stats. They seem pretty decent. You got the autocannon on there. So for bolt action, that sounds more than good enough. Autocannon, cheaper vehicle. That's what you're looking for. Or Konflikt, of course, but... I bet you, is it somewhat popular in bolt action or no? I know the Percival has computational systems. I think the Humble might also get computational systems, but I'm not certain. I know some, like the Walkers for the most part do, right? Except maybe the Mud Skipper doesn't get computational systems. I'm working on getting my new bolt action set up how I want it. Oh, nice. Ride Neck? Is that how you say it? Or you're the Twitch friendly version of Redneck? Is that what it is? Fun story. There was a dude that used to stream fishing stuff because you know I'm Li Flies Mike here, so it was mostly fishing stuff over the years. I still do, but there was a channel. What was the name? I forgot. It was like Redneck Outdoors or something, and they like temporarily banned him and forced him to change his name or something. Some dumb shit on Twitch, I remember. And then I think he started living in a van or something, and I'm like, damn, bro, they really got him. I know you from when you did all the fishing stuff. Ah, okay, nice, cool. What are you doing bolt action wise? What army are you getting set up? I got the Germans. I have a Fallschirmjäger army, and I just got the winter German Heer infantry box, just so I can have a ton more infantry for K-47. But I also want to do bolt action content here on the channel soon. And then I have the U.S. winter starter box, as well as... No, that's it. But my German collection for bolt action is definitely the largest. Humber is only computational if it's veteran. Ah, okay. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah. OG then, cuz OG. Or it's always cool seeing folks from the fishing community that are into tabletop stuff. So. But that means you should be watching Mike Rolls Dice, my YouTube channel, because I have tons of Konflikt 47 battle reports, and we have some bolt action stuff, building some bolt action stuff, one-page rules. Because you might not know that if you just have watched on Twitch. So check out Mike Rolls Dice, which is my tabletop YouTube channel. Freaking getting sand everywhere because I use like Mod Podge and then I spray painted it, but I'm dry brushing the hell out of it, so there's just sand popping off. I'm gonna have to vacuum later. I don't play tabletop like that, but I will watch. Oh, then so what are you talking about then? You're getting your bolt action set up? Are you talking about real life bolt action? I see what you're talking about. You got a freaking like you're talking about a Car 98 or like a a Remington 700. I see. My bad. And an optic. Okay, gotcha. I think, when was it, Rev? The last time we went to the range was one of my birthdays or your birthday or something, and he bought a Remington 700 in 308, and we were shooting it. Sick rifle. But he was like, damn, this shit's kind of expensive. So we shot like 10, 20 rounds or something. But it definitely ain't as cheap as shooting shotguns. Shooting 308. But I never shot 308 before, or really bolt-action rifles. We've always just shot like ARs, like semi-automatic rifles and shotguns and stuff, and pistols. So it was kind of cool getting into shooting bolt-actions. I wouldn't mind getting one in the future, but guns are more of a luxury sport nowadays with how expensive everything is, so I don't do any going to the range or anything anymore. Last gun-related activities, I went duck hunting like 3-4 years ago. Shot some geese, ate them up. Atika T3X Rough Tech super light rifles. Oh, okay, interesting. Biggest I shot was an Enfield P60. Enfields are sweet rifles. Birdie has a friend. Rules say he can be taken in the U.S. and has computational systems rule on his list entry, so I assume... yes, he should get compute. E for Birdie, is the U.S. force, does he not get computational? Yeah, because it's built in. Computational is a rule on the miniature. It's not a army rule, right? Or is computational systems an army rule? I think it doesn't matter because he has the keyword ability built into him, so I think you still get it no matter what. I think it's because it's like set up like that is why. I could be wrong though. But if you look, it's like one of the keywords, right? Or one of the abilities on it. So it's linked to the miniature or the model, not like the army rule. It is an army rule, but it's also on his list. Yeah. So it's like a thing where they just need to clarify it. But I bet you he gets a computational system because it's in his rule, right? But I don't know. Is there other wording in there that says he doesn't get -1 to shooting after moving? To where it supersedes it anyway and it doesn't matter? Or something? Because that would be so dumb. It's like, well, he only shoots after moving because he's a robot when he's with the Brits. But when you take the same exact robot and put it with the US guys, it can't do it. Like, it's the damn robot. 8mm Remington Magnum or 303 caliber? Jesus. So I guess it's... That's technically larger than a 308, right? Or no? No, it's smaller, because... still pretty big rounds. Honestly, probably... I guess the biggest round technically I would have shot is like some sort of shotgun slug or something, I bet, right? Because if you're technically thinking about the biggest size rounds, it would probably easily would be like a shotgun. If you've shot like slugs. You getting the birdies? Not every unit has it? No, I know. But it's also on the actual miniature like abilities, you know. I would, if somebody was playing against me, I would say yes. Like, why would the robot not have it? Why would Birdie not have computational systems just because he's walking with Roberto Wells? That doesn't seem like it's in the flavor of Konflikt 47 either. So if I was playing against somebody and they asked, I'd be like, hell yeah, you're getting computational systems. It's Birdie. But I don't know. I'm assuming that's how they want it to be played, but it's going to be a thing where they need to do the FAQs. Because somebody will be like, well, you can't do that because it's not in the list. Yeah, you know, guns are fun, but going to the range and spending money on ammo, it's all just so expensive, dude. It's like, we don't do it anymore. It's just we spend our money on miniatures now, but we used to go to the range and stuff, and I used to blow like $300 on ammo in like one day. So, it's like a luxury, it's a luxury hobby to say the least. Unless you're like going hunting or something and you get a freaking you know, 60 pounds of deer meat, you know, then it'd be worth buying a box of bullets. How? Because it was like 1,000 bullets we shot in like the course of like 4 hours or something. You get a box of like, I think it was like $200 and something for a box of 1,000 223 rounds. And we would sit down and shoot 1,000 in an afternoon. Because that's what America, you know? And we only have 10 round mags. But that's not every time, but like, we wouldn't go to the range every week. We'd go to the range for like special occasions, for like a birthday or something. Fuck it, we're shooting $300 worth of ammo. I don't make that much money though nowadays to be doing that shit, so. That was when I had a real job. Wasn't a bum. America! No, I live in New York. New York or California are two of the states that have... Massachusetts, a bunch of other ones. But we have very restrictive gun laws. In fact, the magazine needs to be screwed into the gun and glued so you can't remove the magazine if you want any sort of accessories on your rifle. Or shotgun or whatever, vice versa. I think they actually banned accessories on shotguns just straight up, but... Never forget, I'm at the range, I'm sitting next to this dude who's shooting the most decked out AR, and I'm sitting there and I asked him, I'm like, aren't you afraid, like, the cops are gonna show up to the range? He's like, oh, I'm a sheriff. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he's like, what the hell's wrong with your gun? He looks over at mine, and it's got this stupid stock on it for New York State. And it's got, like, a teeny 10-round mag and this and that. His is, like, fully decked out. Like a, you know, a sheriff, SWAT team operators, AR-15 or whatever, you know? But it was like I think it was a Colt. It might have even been like an M4. I don't even know what the hell he had. He had something sick. But he's like, oh, I was like, can I shoot that thing? He's like, yeah, let me try that little rinky-dink thing you're shooting. And he just, like, started laughing after shooting my gun. He's like, how the hell are you even using this? It's the most unergonomic... It's not friendly to operate. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what they want. They don't want me to be able to shoot this fucking thing. But shooting his rifle, oh my god, it was like fully adjustable, you know, stock foregrip. It had like a PEC laser system on it and a like beautiful rail. Everything was lightweight. And I was like, damn, dude, this thing just, jeez, sucks. Sucks I don't have that, but our mag releases have changed every year. I got to shoot the infamous M16 A2, the semi-auto one, 6 months before New Zealand banned them. Oh, damn, you got to shoot a M16 A2? Sheesh. What the history in that... what do you call it? The history in that gun is crazy. I would love to shoot one day. 22s, yeah, that's what we started out with as, like, you know, like, young adults. Like, we all had, like, 22s and stuff and, like, shotguns. And then we started getting, like, rifles and stuff. A lot of people out here, like, hunt. So a lot of people have, like, shotguns and things. Like, duck hunting's really big where I am. We do have shotgun deer hunting, but if you go to upstate New York, everyone hunts with rifles. Turkey hunting. There's a lot of hunting out here. A lot of people hunt squirrels with 22s and stuff. Even in New York. You know what I mean? Even on Long Island. Not 22 hunting on Long Island, though. You can't really hunt with a gun on Long Island, but... You can hunt with black powder. Black powder freaking rifles or muskets or whatever. Because you're not going to shoot through someone's house half a mile away with it. I bow hunt, though. My main thing is bow hunting. I'm a big bow hunter. I shoot recurve bows. I shoot trad bows, you know, long bows. But I haven't been into it for a while. A, because my back, and B, I'm so busy that going and sitting in a tree for 6 hours waiting for a deer is not really a thing I can do that much nowadays. And I only have so much time for hobbies, and fishing is like my biggest thing, so. Yeah, if you guys see behind me, and you'll see it in the battle reports, there's camoed limbs on my Martin Hunter, but I have a custom 72-inch Howard Hill style longbow, which if you guys know, Howard Hill's like one of the greatest archers of all time. So it's like an old American style longbow. And then there's the Martin Hunter, which is my main bow, which is a recurve, which is a curved limb bow. I remember my dad got mad at a puzzle. He glued it to a cardboard target, and he said, "Come on, kiddo, we're going to shooting." So he shot it, and it felt so good, and then we got ice cream. Hell yeah. This goddamn puzzle. He's like, "Come on, we're going to the range." He just blows it up. And then you go get ice cream. Sounds like a great dad. Honestly, Dad of the Year award right there. It's like as a kid would love doing that shit. Yeah, it's all right. We try not to get into politics and stuff with gun laws and all that. It's fine. I'll just say guns are fun, but you know, you do need to be responsible with them, obviously. And unfortunately, there's just idiots in the world for everything. So that's why it's not that safe to ride motorcycles. It's not necessarily that Ed Scar is doing 210 miles an hour down some famous British highway I forgot the name of. It's because somebody's looking at their phone and they're gonna fucking smash into you. But that being said, I will say this. One of my friends has shot himself in the foot. Okay? So, you can't trust everyone around guns. I'll just say that. Some people should not be allowed to shoot guns, okay? I will just say that. Gun safety is the utmost important. Don't worry about it. That's all you need to know. It definitely wasn't Rev. Rev is very good with firearms. But yes. Let's just say that the range that we go to is like the wild, wild west of ranges. I don't think there's, like, I generally don't think there's maybe a crazier range in the United States. And I've seen people roll out we saw people roll out bowling balls. We saw, I saw a dude load a gun and pick it up and was about to shoot it while people were downrange. I've never yelled at a grown-ass adult, and I was like 18, 19, whatever, 20, and I reamed this dude out, and I got the range master to come. I don't know if Rev was there. He might have been. Some guy pulls up in an Audi from the city or some shit, whips out a case, pulls out an AR, loads a magazine, and I'm watching him. I'm like, okay. But he's not, okay, whatever. He's just pulling up. Everyone is downrange, changing targets. This guy takes the AR, puts the mag in it, and is about to point it downrange. He's like about to raise it up. And Rev is down there, or one of my buddies is down there, and other people. And I had to freaking yell at... I'll never forget that, though. I almost ran and, like, grabbed the gun from him or something, but... That's when it opened my mind. This guy was driving, like, a $100,000 Audi, too. And I'm like, dude, you can't trust anybody. You got to make sure everybody's, like, you got to pay attention. Now, this, I will say, is not like any other gun range you will ever go to in the United States. It is like the Wild Wild West, but... My dad taught me all about guns, was a former deer culler in the 70s, and was issued an old World War II Lee Enfield. So when you say... So what were they? Were they culling the deer that they imported to New Zealand? Like the red deer and all the stags and stuff? Because they got out of hand? Because I know they have pretty liberal hunting seasons in New Zealand to probably try and deal with that, right? But in the 70s, they probably paid people with rifles just to go shoot them or something, right? Instead of figuring out how to better conserve it or something. Because all the deer in New Zealand are not native, right? Like Sitka deer. I think like every deer species was brought in, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah. That's, as a deer hunter, I used to, I was part of this traditional bow hunting forum, and there was a lot of guys from New Zealand and Australia that bow hunted for wild hogs, and the guys in New Zealand were hunting for stag, like red stag, or all these imported deer and elk and stuff. Yo, Jonathan, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Get some 07s in the chat. Love all your K-47 and bolt action content. Your battle reports are top tier. You've inspired me to do more K-47 and bolt action. Oh, thank you, my friend. I'm glad to hear that. What do you call it? That's fantastic. We love to hear that. That's one of my favorite things, is not only people enjoying the content, but they're like, you know, maybe they got their buddies into it, or that maybe it helped inspire them to try Konflikt out, because that's one of my favorite things we get to hear. So thank you, my friend. What else what are you expanding? You're expanding into? Only native animals, a bat? There's no way. You got more native animals. I know you have more native animals. There's no way the only native animal is a bat. You're just being sarcastic. But there's definitely other native species. One guy was selling AK for 5K euros. So you just go on, people are just selling, is that like a legally owned AK in Slovakia? Or is that like some dude illegally selling an AK on Facebook in Slovakia? Google it. Are you telling me bats are a singular bat species? Native New Zealand animals. I was gonna say, you guys have parrots and shit, dude. I've seen, like, the keas or the kakapos or something. You also got, you guys have kiwis, which are birds. Plentiful native birds. Are you saying native? Maybe you mean native mammal? Because birds are animals. Damn Legion. Yeah, you got a short-tailed bat. You do have some ancient reptiles and amphibians. You do have some frogs. Lizard-like reptile, the last survivor of an ancient lineage from the dinosaur era. Oh wow, these things are cool. They look similar to, like, almost like a bearded dragon sort of thing. Hooker sea lion, Hector's dolphin, but marine life's kind of hard to always say. Yeah, you don't have a lot of native animals. I'll give it to you. You don't have a ton of native animals. A fallow deer is not native, right? There's no way. They're just showing animals that are here. Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of native animals, though. Yes, only native mammals. Gotcha. Yeah. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Our game group is currently fighting in the Pacific and K-47 doing island hopping and a lot of beach landings. Oh shit, that sounds sick. Nothing like grizzly walkers charging off landing craft. Oh dude, I want to do that so bad. Rev, print some landing craft for Invasion America, dude. I was gonna, what do you call it? We should definitely, what do you call it? No, I did finish reading your post. You can get them from Ukraine or whatever, but I'm saying, we need landing craft. Print us some landing craft, dude. 100% we got to do that. Because I bet you there's going to be island hopping missions. I bet you there's going to be, like, an island hopping mission or something. Alright. I want to do that so bad, too. I've seen some sick stuff. I'm like, dude, we got to do that at some point. I think we have a way of simulating a beach, too. I think Rev has some sort of water mat thing that we can use, and then probably use, like, rocks and sand along with it. Alright. I guess let me go over with one more lighter brown coat here. The flamethrower landing vehicles? Hell yeah. Now, for something like a landing vehicle, we'll just 3D print that shit, dude. I ain't spending like $30 or like $60 on landing crafts or something. Until Warlord accepts the affiliate thing or something. Screw that. We're 3D printing those. what do you call it? We'll just do like the boats, you know, the regular landing crafts for like D-Day sort of thing. If we get like a couple of those, even if we don't necessarily do anything mechanic-wise with them, if we just, the Americans deploy on the beach or the Japanese deploy on the beach, and we have those landing crafts, it'll just look really nice too, you know? Is there mechanics for like landing crafts in Conflict, or is there stuff like that in Bolt Action in the campaigns or something? Are you guys adapting, or are you just, you know? Because I think in Bolt Action there is like landing craft rules and scenarios, right? But I don't know if there's anything for Conflict. Or are you guys adapting from like the first edition or using Bolt Action stuff for it? We'll retake Hawaii or die trying. The LVTs, yeah. There is landing craft rules in Conflict. It's a ton of fun with progressive objectives where the attackers has to make it so far up the beach or take out certain key emplacements. Yeah, no, I could totally come up with some cool missions for that. That sounds fun. We could definitely do some like unique stuff. Which when you set up a board like that, it just lends to doing different stuff than you normally would if you just set up a regular K-47 map and play with your buddy. There are landing craft rules. Okay. In second edition. Alright. Very good. I'd like to see some conflict-specific transport vehicles. Yeah, just maybe like some more modernized transports for the modern battlefield. Like if you've ever seen what a modern-day... Not that they necessarily use them that often in Ukraine, but what a modern-day military transport vehicle looks like nowadays in drone warfare, they look completely different than they did 5 years ago. So if you think about the equivalent to Conflict, we had regular World War I and people were driving around in Opel Blitzes and stuff. But now that there's freaking Schreckwolfen and there's Fireflies and there's walkers and crazy weapons, maybe they want to try get a little bit more of a safer transport for troops, so they just don't get like mauled in the back of an Opel Blitz by a bunch of Schreckwolfen or something. Yeah, like modern day turtle armor on BTRs or tanks, so they survive a couple drone strikes before they're completely obliterated. It's not, don't get me wrong, your transport's not gonna make it back from the front when Schreckwolfen are there, but at least your guys will get to the objective before they get completely shredded by the Schreckwolfen. You know what I mean? But imagine logistics trying to get a bunch of Axis troops to the back line, and you have a bunch of like Fireflies like doing drive-bys in the air. You know, like why are we still using canvas tops? God damn it. We have rift weapons. We can't make better trucks. I like the idea. Some new transports specifically for Conflict. Because everything's like bolt action stuff, right? But yeah, it's funny how, especially when new technology is introduced to war real time, how quickly things change. And in like a matter of 5 years, I bet you the Conflict battlescapes look probably completely different to like a standard World War II battle because of all the new technology and all that, and how the what do you call it, the tactics, now that there's new technology and all this. You can modify Axis truck to have heating systems so the totem cores, they could stay in a hibernation slow moving state. Well, that's the whole thing. I think I talked about this with someone where they use like refrigerated vehicles for the totem core so they wouldn't rot in the winter, in the summertime. I think we were talking about it, me and Rev, during a battle report or something. They use like refrigerated trucks for the totem core so they don't rot, you know? Just finished painting Opel Blitz and I did a great job. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I got to put mine together from the box. Either the Blitz or the Malter or something they call them. If Schreckwolfen are bad, why friend-shaped? They're just puppy dogs. They're just puppy dogs. on steroids. You could probably distract them with chew toys if you really wanted to, or a good, like, steak. Depends how trained they are. And if you use standard infantry for Japanese and USMC, like rifle squads, as constant reinforcements, that helps with resource management, so you only worry about K-47 stuff as strategic assets. Ooh, that sounds fun. I was thinking in the last battle report with the Japanese, I didn't know how it was going to go. And I was like, yo, worst case, maybe you could just have some Japanese troops come on later on, like bozos, because it's like the next wave of troops. And Rev's like, hell no, I don't need that, because I'm going to kick your ass. Because he loves, you know, he's good at games and stuff. But I love that idea, though, for a scenario like that. In K-47, your regular bozos are kind of just more like disposable guys that are going to be taking points and get a couple rifle shots here and there, maybe get a lucky kill against a assault frame guy or something. But let's say, you know, they're just sending wave after wave of dude to help, like, consolidate, and the real assets are the Konflikt 47 assets, so that's really kind of like where your attention goes to. But you can still play the game if your regular dudes get wiped out, because it's like the beach wave assault or something. That sounds cool. I like that. If we do something like that, I'm going to borrow that. Do both sides get it? So the Japanese also get like a, you know, a refreshed infantry unit, I guess? That should be like a game mode in Konflikt that you can choose to play, where it's like a mass scale battle thing, but it's just like you have a certain amount of basic infantries and they keep respawning to like flood the board mixed in with your K-47 stuff. Remember, men, a rolled up newspaper can stop a Shrek Wolfen in its tracks? Hell yeah. You just need one of those whistles, the dog whistles, like the high-pitched ones. You know what I mean? Alright, let's keep adding. So I'm adding a lighter brown color on top to hit the raised areas on the sand and all that, just to give a lighter color for the ground. New 3D printer comes on Monday, so I'm going to set it up. I know Rev wants me to print some Adeptus Mechanicus Knight character. I'm going to be printing up Zona Alpha, but I think the first prints are going to be I need to do like probably another set of Whirling Dervishes, and I need to do some like Janissary bodies to make unmounted cavalry for the Turks, but I need more Janissaries, more Dervishes, more Jinn, more cavalry. Because I at some point I would, like, I really do want to, I don't want to like wait forever. If I wait too long, they'll just come out with like some Turkish faction thing before I get mine done. Like, I have to get mine done before Warlord's next expansion, so I know we got a little time, but I don't want to take forever, so I want to get the stuff printed, I want to get my paint scheme figured out, and then finalize all the unit ability and army rules and do a final video showcasing the whole army, going over the custom army, faction, the rules, the unit abilities, everything. So I really want to get going on that, so that's what I'll be doing hobby related. Even though I did get the Brits and I'm going to be working on those, I'm not going to rush to, because we still have Rev's British Army we can use. So, and honestly, those shouldn't be that bad, painting those robots. I could probably do that in a day or two, so. They usually come on from spider holes, the Japanese marks in deployment. Oh, okay. I see. Very nice. I wonder what the Unit 731 is doing in K-47 and how many more horrendously terrible experiments they've done and added to the Rift text. Is that some sort of German terrible unit or something? Because there probably still is stuff like that, but the Axis also got rid of all the bad waffle people that were angry waffle people that were doing the terrible, terrible things to various groups of people in World War II. So if they are doing anything, it's ethically okay, but it's probably morally wrong. Like, it's not considered an extreme war crime or something, you know. They're just mixing, you know, German dudes with wolves and stuff. Oh, that's Imperial Japan? Oh, okay. I don't know anything about it then. I don't know enough. I've never learned about that unit, so God only knows. Nope, I don't. Something tells me I don't want to know, so, from the sound of it. I'll tell you this, I took a Holocaust class in college, and we saw a lot of footage in that class, and that had a long-lasting effect on me as a person. So I've seen enough of shit like that for probably one lifetime, because I'm telling you, that professor did not hold back. Half the class quit in like the first day in that college class. It was not easy, I'll tell you that much. We saw some fucked up shit. That's all I'll say. Not for me. I don't know. We were taught about it. We're forced to, you know, we read Anne Frank and some different books and stuff like that when we're growing up as kids here in the U.S. But I'll tell you what, that college class was, whew, that was serious. It was like a bunch of like girls and stuff, you know, and I don't know. Maybe they thought it was going to be like more talking about stuff, but half the class got up and left in the first day because the shit he showed us. It was pretty fucking serious. And then the teacher berated me and there was another Turkish kid there. And he was like, because I guess with the Armenians. And he's like, you see how the Turks are denying it? And we're like, we're not denying it. We're American, dude. We're not, because he showed us a video of Turkish people like denying it. And he got like all upset at me and some other Turkish kid in the class. We're like, dude, we're not, we're chill out. We're Americans, dude. Holy fuck. He's a very passionate guy. And by that, do you mean throwing books at them? What? Am I missing stuff? Yo, what's going on, Ryan? How's it going? There's a lot about World War II. When Dr. Mangala says you're doing effed up stuff, that's unit... Okay, yeah, I don't want to learn about Unit 731 then. You guys can, keep that to yourself. Because, I'll tell you what, the stuff the Germans were doing were pretty fucked up. If they thought that it was, pretty bad, then, yeah. We'll leave that for off-stream topics, okay? I'd rather not Google it. Dude, the Japanese were crazy in World War II. I'll tell you that much. I watched some like footage from some Pacific Islands and stuff, man. It was like some of the stories from the U.S. soldiers. They were like, man, it was like hell fighting against the Japanese. They would just literally fight to the death too. The craziest story is like Japanese troops holding out till like 30, 40, 50 years later, whatever, on islands and stuff. And like not surrendering. Crazy shit. Wasn't there one dude in like Vietnam or somewhere? I forget where he was. He was some pretty large country, I want to say, or something. He kept going down and like raiding local villages for supplies. And that's how they found him. In fact, I just watched, there was a, I think it was a short, or was it, and it was from one of the Pacific series or some movie about a fight in the Pacific, and how the Japanese troops were like issued the bamboo to like breathe through or something, and the Japanese would bury themselves in the sand and like hide in the sand for Americans to walk over them, and then they would like Dude, that's just crazy. Imagine you're like a U.S. soldier in World War II. You get conscripted or you get drafted or whatever, and they're like, all right, you're going to bury yourself in the sand. Wait for the enemies to go by you. Like, leap out or something. Oh, yeah, we don't got to get into the details of all the war crimes that happened in World War II, guys, all right? I'll tell you that much. There was a lot of fucked up shit. We don't need to get into the specifics, okay? Whether it's Japanese, Germans, or whoever. We'll leave that for off stream. You can think about your, Hiro Onda. Last Japanese surrendered, 1974. There's literally no way there's still a guy, right? Because what, a World War II veteran at this point would be like, there's no way. There's like still, maybe there was one guy though that just held out longer and just died out there or something, but I don't think so. It was probably the last guy, right? So what was that? 74. When did the war end with the Japanese? Was it 45? Was like the like last fighting with the Japanese? So what would that be? Like 29 years or something like that? 29 years of living in the jungle all alone or something? Right? Or am I tripping? Yeah, it was 45. Yeah. A quick war, eh? Quick war. Yeah, what was it? 39 to 45? Psh, easy, dude. Wasn't 39 when they invaded Poland, the Soviets and the Germans? Onda was raiding the local villages? Yeah, that's the dude. I think you can go and see like where he was at. They have like a little monument or like a little thing showing. I've seen like videos on it. It was 38, was it? Was it 38? Was that when because it started with the invasion of Poland, no? Wasn't it? Wasn't that the first act of war by the Germans? Was it 38? Spanish Civil War. All right, let me clean up some of this crap. No, yeah, it was 39. If you count the Chinese invasion, it could be counted longer. Well, in my Western mind, I don't, but yeah. Gotcha. And what was that? Was that with the Japanese invading China? The Sino-Japanese War, right? Was that technically started first before the whole European side of World War II? With the Germans and the Soviets invading Poland and all that jazz? Which of the thousands of wars that happened in the 20th century do you want to count as being part of World War II? Yeah, exactly, right? But technically, I mean, that is, you know, because what? That eventually led to, like, the Brits fighting the Japanese, right, and stuff? And, like, Hong Kong and all that. Because the Brits had, you know, part of the great British Empire still in that area. Oh yeah, there were many leading factors, but you kind of need some sort of... People like to give something like a sort of set date, you know what I mean? So it's easy to say, all right, 1939, Germany, Blitzkrieg, they invade Poland. You could count that as the start of the official World War II, right? I'm sure there were many conflicts going on at that time in general that probably led up to all these circumstances and boiling points and all that, but what's the main thing that was like, okay, here we go? Because when was the Finnish-Russian War? When was the White War? Was it called? Wasn't that was before the Soviets got involved with, or that was before Germany invaded Soviet? Because one of the reasons why Germany invaded Soviet Union was because they failed so terribly at trying to invade a smaller country, Finland. They did end up getting land out of the situation, but the Germans were so unimpressed with the Soviets that they decided to invade them. The Winter War, not the White War, the Winter War. That's what it was. It was the Winter War. When was the Winter War? Was it 39 or 38? Or was it previously? Winter War. Winter War was in 1939. Okay. So like the Winter War was happening, but that technically wasn't part of World War One. But you could, World War Two. But you could say it was kind of part of World War Two, because I think didn't Soviets do this and in a similar? They wanted to. They saw the Axis going into like Poland and whatnot, and they were like, okay, we'll go take Finland. And then later the Finnish worked with the Axis to fight against the Soviets and vice versa. So it's like part of it, but could you say is that like World War II is the White War, or the Winter War, you know? Yeah, what's his name? What's his name? The White Death is his name or whatever, right? Simo. Yeah, dude, this guy right here. You want to talk about it, dude? This is after he got shot in the face and survived, by the way. But this dude right here, man. What's the name of this channel that does the animations? I forgot the guy's name, but there's a great video talking about his whole military career or something. I don't know how to say his last name though, because I'm not Finnish, but this guy's a badass. Certified, probably like one of the greatest snipers of all time. Guy's fucking, he's got a crazy story. Looks Maxer, hell yeah, dude. Shit. You would not want to be a German and that guy being on the end of that guy's rifle. Especially in a place where I bet you the Germans did not have a good time, or the Soviets, I'm sorry. You would not want to be a Soviet on the end of that dude's rifle. And even though they are Soviets, like that whole area fighting in Finland was like really, really hard fighting because it was extreme weather. So I think even the Soviets, even though they're like Russians and everything, they're used to like colder weather. I think they weren't prepared for like fighting in Finland. It was so fucking brutal, like how bad it was. And I think the Finnish were just more like used to fighting in that area. That was a big factor. Imo Koiven, another Finnish legend. Let me look him up. Also, Ed, we'll see you, dude. Have a nice night, man. Because in the Soviet Union, unfortunately, you weren't always equipped the best. And I remember this is from like old... I bet you it was going on back then, but I know in the Cold War era... I was just watching something recently, but... I bet you the older guys, they would like take the recruits' shit too from them, so... You'd probably be wearing like rags around your feet and shit too. Then again, American soldiers were too. Look at the all the airborne troops that were thrown into Bastogne with like nothing, you know. I'm not familiar with this guy. Oh, is this the guy that was on? Oh, I do know the story. This guy was injured running away from the Soviets. He got like ambushed or some shit. He was injured. And he fucking was on drugs. He like took the speed pills and like skied for like, yeah, he skied like 400 kilometers or something and survived. He like skied for like 3 days or 4 days straight with the Soviets chasing him. He was injured and he was high as shit on speed. And he somehow survived. Like they don't know how he survived. I remember this story. Yeah. This guy's fucking a legend too. Yeah. He did all the meth. Holy shit. That's a meme. That's not actually. That's the one guy I was talking. It's like a mixture of that one guy's face, the little Ukrainian guy who goes to Chernobyl and stuff. Yeah, this guy is fucking crazy, dude. He weighed 43 kilograms afterwards, and his heart rate was measured at 200 beats per minute. Yep. Damn, dude. 250 miles he skied. Overdosing on meth. That's fucking crazy. The world's first Florida man. Did he take him by accident? All that stuff? Or what happened, right? Or he just took too much without eating or something. I forget what happened. I'm trying to see. Or he was just really fucked up. Yeah, he survived an exploding mine and he just kept taking meth or something. It's technically not meth, but it's essentially meth. What is it? Pervectin or something they call it? You do enough meth, you become a super soldier captain, Finland. You know how Kaisha Niku Miniatures has the Finnish army stuff? He needs to make a, like, a Hemo sniper miniature, and he needs to make this dude on skis. Fucking high on meth. They froze together. He took them all because he was trying to, escape. Oh, they all froze together, and then he just popped them or something. I remember it was like an accident. I don't think he definitely did not mean to overdose on it. I mean, he was definitely taking it because they used it in war, right? To stay fighting shape for days on end, but... It's better to be on meth than captured by the Russians. You do not want to get captured by Russians, even today. They beat the shit out of you, okay? Let me just tell you one thing. I don't think a lot has changed. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they have some new technology, but they're still operating on very similar principles over there. And being a prisoner of the Russians is not a good time. Yeah. Definitely not. Definitely not. You can go back and read war stories and stuff from, like, German troops and stuff. They'll kick your ass, dude. You do not want to get caught. They'll do a lot worse than kick your ass, too. But, yeah, he was like, fuck that. I'm taking meth. I do think it was, though, he didn't mean to take all of it at once. I think it was an accident, you know? I think the story was he never took until that one time. Yeah. He was taking it because he was skiing, he was getting tired or something, or he was injured or something happened, I forgot. I think he got injured after taking all the meth and he, like, didn't feel it that much. Something like that. I gotta rewatch the YouTube video. It's definitely, like, one of the most legendary stories of that war. And again, now I wonder, is the Winter War considered part of World War II? I guess it technically is, but let me take a look. The Winter War is classified as a military conflict in the European theater of World War II. Okay, so it definitely is considered to be part of World War II. November 30th, 39 to March 13th, 1940. It was very short, 3 months and a week. But a lot of fucking people died in it, I'll tell you that. It's actually a really crazy war. There's some really... It was very interesting to hear how the Finns, like, were losing land and falling back and had to, like, consolidate their forces and try and stop. I think a lot of it also had to do with the natural geography in Finland. There's like bogs and like swampy type areas and stuff, and part of the time of the year also had something to do with it. You know what I mean? It was a crazy war. It's very interesting. It's actually a really cool war to look into and look at how the war panned out in terms of the Finns and everything, how they played it out, and how the Soviets, what do you call it? How the Soviets played it out as well. I love World War II history. It's one of my favorite things for sure. I love that the Molotov cocktail got its name in that war. Yeah, isn't that crazy? The continuation war. A lot of units were on drugs in World War II, I know. I don't know, were the Americans and Brits doing it? They probably had their own sort of drugs, but I don't know if they were taking that specifically, but I know there was a lot of performance enhancing drugs in World War II. That's for sure. All right, chat. Check out our buildings. They're not too shabby. People sadly love more islands. Well, you know what the skibbity toilet thing is? There's just a ton of kids, and the kids know how to use phones more than older people. So people just we talked about idiocracy last night. That's what it is. You got too many damn kids with iPhones in their hands watching skibbity toilet movies. Also, what's going on, Dex? How's it going, dude? Yeah, no, the U.S. and the Brits had penicillin. I love, did you guys know this? Salvador Dali made official artwork, I believe it was in World War II, for U.S. troops, and it shows, like, the legs of women, and there's, like, this, like, I forgot what, but there's, like, some evil, like, cloud or something, you know, and it was to deter troops from, catching, STDs and stuff. But, so did Seuss. Did Seuss do some propaganda stuff too? But Salvador Dali did artwork specifically for troops to scare them from getting STDs or using prophylactics or whatever. I don't know. Because they did have prophylactics back then, if I'm not wrong. But I'm sure they probably didn't use them a lot. Cocoa powder right up my nose. Wasn't that for World War I? Was it? Let me take a look. Salvador Dali World War II art or something, or let me do art or military poster. Art, here we go. 1942 was World War II. I don't think I'll get banned for this, but that's the art right there. And it's like ladies with their skirts or whatever, and then above it there's like a light, and it's like shows like bats or some shit. There's some crazy shit going on here. I don't know. It was 1942. Yeah. The British feeding carrots to see better in the dark. To trick the Germans about their advanced radar. I remember hearing about that. The keratin or whatever, right? In carrots? No, it's not the fact that women... Well, that's the art, right? But it's that the men should, you know, be a little bit more careful. I think both sides are both sides are at fault. I was on vacation and visited Block Island, so it wasn't too far from Long Island. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I think Block Island is technically still part of Long Island, or am I tripping? Is a part of Connecticut. I always forget. I was fishing off Block Island last year, though. That's where I got some really nice bass. But yeah, you weren't too far from me, honestly. It's a skull. Yeah, they didn't need the poster for the Navy, huh? That's funny because one of my friends, he's like a younger kid too, but I mean he's an adult, but you know, he's like 19 or whatever. But his buddy joined the Navy, and they were always ripping on him. But you know what? He's traveling the world, having a great time, dude. Yeah, the crayon eaters, Marines, hell yeah, dude. Marines are the most badass, though. You can't deny it. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Oh, it's part of Rhode Island. You're right. It's part of Rhode Island. The funny thing is, it's so much closer to freaking, or it feels so much closer to Long Island than anything else. If you drive from Montauk in a boat, which is what we do usually. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. We got some ruined buildings, dry brush, and paint it up. I'll do some flocking, some little bits and bobs, some grassy stuff. Maybe some random junk. I gotta paint some metal, so I'll do this at some point. Paint like metal beams and stuff. But there we go. We got some nice little ruins for Conflikt, for Zone Alpha, anything. What is that? Royal Navy, New Zealand? Is that RN, right? Because I know the British have the Royal Navy. I'm assuming, is that what that stands for in New Zealand terms? Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. We need a Marine K-47 unit? Absolutely. I would love to see more of Marines. The only things I ever see of Marines is those pond skaters, which, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like the Marines would not be... If you told a Marine in 1942, you're showing all... Okay, the Fireflies with their jetpacks, you got linebackers, and then you go to the Marines. The Marines. And you say, here you go, guys. And you give them pond skaters. You're going to have an issue. Okay? You might disappear. I feel like the Marines would be like, we got to get rid of this guy. This general or whoever the fuck this guy is. You got to equip the Marines better. You know what I mean? They're the fucking Marines. So, there were Marine Fireflies. I mean, I could see why Fireflies are an airborne unit and why they use the airbornes, right? They call them Dragonflies. I feel like there needs to be a specialized Marine K-47 unit. You know? We have U.S. Rangers. What are the U.S. Rangers? Paragons? You feel the Paragon, but not... Yeah, I guess Paragons are kind of like Ranger Marine type guys or something, but... The normal just get lift over. The Marines are used to getting secondhand gear. It's lore accurate. Look, you guys can... Here, you know what? You guys can use these old... Browning machine guns that we took from the paratroopers and the other guys and the Rangers, and we'll give you guys these. But hey, we did get you something new. And they pan over and they take a cloth off and it's a pond skater. Paragons are primary Marines. I don't know. I feel like Paragons with Infiltrator and Guts feel more like Rangers to me, and how U.S. Rangers were used in World War II, or like, and how their Ranger rules are in bolt action. I really feel like Paragons are more like Rangers and how they act and operate than they are Marines. You know what I mean? That's just me though. That's me. Yeah, Paragons are more Rangers. That's what I feel like. If you're actually thinking about like how the unit operates and everything, they're like more like a smaller elite unit. Not that Rangers were going off in 3-man groups, but Rangers were being used to like push ahead early on, take out bunkers out in D-Day, and do stuff like that. That's what I feel like a Paragon unit does. I feel like the Marines, they're a larger fighting force, an expeditionary force, but they were made for like obviously, or trained a lot and used in like beach landings and island hopping operations. You know? So I would like, I feel like there's room for a Marine type unit. I don't know what it would be. I don't know the flavor. Slammer was a Ranger. Did they say that? Slammer was a Ranger? In the in like one of the lore blurbs or something? They love salvaging shit though. The U.S. Rangers kit is I mean, honestly, it's not too bad. I mean, look, if you're playing bolt action U.S., don't expect a lot. Most of your guys are going to have rifles. You'll maybe have a BAR. Half of the units don't even get SMGs. So don't expect much if you're playing Americans in bolt action, because it's just a more simple... You're not going to be like Soviets running around with 10 SMGs or like Stug Riders with like all whatever. You're going to be a lot of rifles, maybe a BAR, maybe 1 or 2 SMGs. Because that's just kind of how it was. Rangers lead the way, hell yeah. Oh, he's 1st Ranger Battalion. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. That makes sense. So then I feel like 100% the Paragons are Rangers. A D-Day American sprue is best. It has way more weapon options. Are you talking about the Curahi, like the airborne D-Day ones, or is there a D-Day set? I still want to get Rangers for my Americans, because if I'm playing the Americans, Rangers is like seems like a very good unit to use in bolt action, because they can make a move. You know what I mean? Like, it seems very good. I would love to try it in bolt action. But all right, chat. What do you call it? Not a bad little stream. We got to hang out. We got to chit chat. We got to work on some terrain, work on some buildings and all that. The Airborne, they released, re-released new D-Day troops. Lore-wise, Paragons can come from any branch. Okay, that makes sense. I just feel like if you're thinking about like mechanics wise and like or what actual operating, it seems like Rangers fit them very good, right? But all right, chat. But thank you so much for hanging out. What do you call it? I have more editing to do. I'm working on a fly time video for Li Fly's mic, so I got to get that done. That being said, though, we will have a video on George Washington, kit bashing George Washington and painting him. And then I don't know what. I gotta talk to Rev. Honestly, we might skip filming tomorrow, so I can get some hobby videos done. And then we do have a one-page rules battle report I need to edit as well, like a large-scale one-page rules battle report. But probably what's going to happen is the next battle report will probably be some sort of conflict thing. So I don't know whether we record something tomorrow or next Sunday. That'll probably be the next battle report. But we'll see. I have a bunch of different stuff I want to do, so... You have to work on your Washington? Yeah. What's going on, buddy boy? The Marines normal bolt action get some good options. They get 3 BARs, 4 SMGs, and up to 3 shotguns. Yeah, I will say I'm probably going to get a box of Marines at some point for conflict and for bolt action. And they do get some nice little weapon options. They do. And you know what? I don't mind the U.S. Army. They're not supposed to be like the Axis and whatnot. And the way that the U.S., like, you didn't have full squads of U.S. soldiers in the Army with everybody having SMGs and stuff. That just wasn't how the U.S. Army functioned. You know what I mean? So, I understand, you know what I mean? But I will say, when Rev has, like, 12 dudes with, like, SMGs, I'm like, that's the first squad I'm killing. Screw that. So... But, all right, chat. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. What do you call it? You guys have an awesome night. Rev, Ryan, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Jenny, Buddy, Cosmic, Dex, Klovek, everybody chilling. Damn Legion, thank you so much. I hope you folks have an awesome night. What do you call it? And Jonathan as well, thank you for the super chats and memberships and everything. You guys are awesome. We'll have some more videos coming up soon for you guys. And then, of course, we'll be streaming over the week. So... What do you call it? We'll try and do a couple streams during the week before Mordian goes live and all that jazz. So, but thank you so much, chat. I appreciate you guys having an awesome night. You guys take it easy, and we'll see you. All right.